Phoenix Nights. Chapter 1678. Xue Zimei, Xue Zizhu, and Xue Zixian followed the shopkeeper to Lin Feng's room. "Milords, it's inside. Do you want me to go and call the young master out?" the shopkeeper asked. "No need. Give us the medallion and you can leave," Xue Zimei said. "Yes." The shopkeeper gave the medallion to Xue Zimei and left. Every frost gravity training room was equipped with 2 tokens. This was so that if anything happened, they could go in and save someone. Xue Zimei opened the door of the frost gravity room and entered. The 3 women immediately felt a terrifying pressure. They had no choice but to use their mana to resist. The temperature of -6,000 degrees Celsius didn't affect them at all. The snow race didn't fear the cold. After the 3 women entered the frost gravity room, they saw a man covered in blood sitting cross-legged. That young man was covered with blood. It was obviously Lin Feng. Lin Feng had retracted his skyfire, and the archaic dragon-esque elephant art had stopped circulating. This was because his physical body had already begun to transform. "Is it him?" The 3 women exchanged glances. "Why isn't he moving? There aren't any energy fluctuations. It doesn't seem like he's cultivating," Xue Zixian said doubtfully. "I don't know what he's doing. I'll go test him," Xue Zimei said. "Big sister, I think we should wait. If we disturb him, we might offend him," Xue Zizhu said. Xue Zimei said. "Don't worry. I know what I'm doing." Xue Zimei walked towards Lin Feng. Just as she was about to reach Lin Feng, suddenly, a golden dragon formed from flames rushed out of Lin Feng's body and pounced on Xue Zimei. "Skyfire!" Xue Zimei cried out in fear. Xue Zizhu and Xue Zixian's expressions changed. Skyfire was the bane of the snow race and the ice race. So, when she saw the golden dragon, Xue Zimei felt that her spiritual energy couldn't circulate. She felt an unprecedented sense of danger. However, Xue Zimei's cultivation was very strong. She sent out 3 palm strikes towards the golden dragon. Bang! 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 3 muffled sounds of collisions were heard in succession. The golden dragon was pushed back by Xue Zimei, who quickly retreated. "Big sister, behind you!" At that moment, Xue Zimei suddenly heard Xue Zizhu and Xue Zixian's anxious voices. She didn't even have time to react. In the next moment, she felt a pair of large hands wrap around her waist. "Woman, you should die!" Xue Zimei heard a cold voice in her ear. Only then did she realize the man who had been sitting had disappeared. Was gone clearly. The man who had restrained him was the man from before. Xue Zimei could feel the heat radiating from the man behind her. Feeling the warmth of the man's large hands, her face flushed red. She was angry, embarrassed, and anxious. She screamed, "Do you know who I am? How dare you attack me in Snow City? Are you tired of living? Oh? You're a prisoner, and you dare threaten me? Do you really think I have a good temper?" Lin Feng's voice was cold. "Lin Gongzi, we mean you no harm. We're here to thank you for escorting Xue Xian and Xue Fei back," Xue Zizhu hurriedly said. Xue Zixian added, "Yes. Lin Gongzi, we're here to thank you, but our big sister likes to joke around. She doesn't mean any harm, so please let her go." Lin Feng glanced at Xue Zizhu and Xue Zixian. They looked to be in their 30s. Xue Zizhu was ethereal. Xue Zixian was otherworldly. They were 2 different types of beauties. "I'll let you go today because of your sisters. Next time, think before you do anything. Don't disturb others when they're cultivating. It's fine if you have big breasts but no brains, but it's normal if you have small breasts." Lin Feng pushed Xue Zimei 4 or 5 meters away. Xue Zimei looked like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She looked at Lin Feng furiously and said, "Are you blind, you dog? Who are you calling small?" Lin Feng said indifferently, "You know who's small. Do you need me to point it out?" Xue Zimei was so angry that she wanted to slap Lin Feng to death. Fortunately, Xue Zizhu and Xue Zixian held her back. Lin Feng looked at the three girls and said, "You don't need to thank me. I'd only help them because Shui Xian and Shui Fei paid me. You don't need to thank me," Shui Zixian said. "It's like this, we want to be friends with you. Would the Snow Clan have the honor?" "Friends? Friends with the Snow Clan? Or friends with you?" Lin Feng said with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. "Shameless bastard." Shui Zimei glanced at Lin Feng angrily. "How am I shameless? As the saying goes, even heroes fall for the charms of beautiful women. Is there anything wrong with me admiring this fairy?" Lin Feng pursed his lips. "Humph." Shui Zimei groaned coldly. She couldn't help but glare at Lin Feng in a cruel way. In fact, Shui Zimei was also very charming. Moreover, her temperament was seductive. She was very seductive. A woman like this was more attractive to men. However, because of what had happened before, Lin Feng didn't have a good impression of Shui Zimei. This woman had disturbed him while he was cultivating. Lin Feng didn't believe that it was an accident. She was most likely scheming something. She was just a woman, so Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with her. Shui Zixian smiled and said, "The Snow Clan wants to be friends with you, and I want to be friends with you as well." Lin Feng laughed and said, "Forget about being friends. I'm just a passing traveler, and I'm about to leave Tundra. It's better to have fewer ties." Shui Zixian sighed and said, "It looks like I'm not that lucky." Shui Zixian didn't mention the Snow Clan, and she only mentioned herself, looking very pitiful. However, Lin Feng wasn't moved. It was just as he had said. He was about to leave Tundra, and he planned to find his father's old friend, Didiya, to ask about his parents. He wasn't in the mood to pay attention to these Snow Clan women. One who was unaccountably solicitous was hiding evil intentions. Shui Ziju said, "We have a favor to ask of Lin Gongzi. Would you agree?" Lin Feng said, "If you want me to do something, you have to pay me." "What does Lin Gongzi want?" "If the Snow Clan can afford it, we won't refuse," Shui Ziju said. Lin Feng glanced at Shui Ziju and thought, "I want you to accompany me for 3 days. Would you agree?" Of course, he wouldn't say that out loud. He asked, "What treasures does the Snow Clan have?" "We have an immortal stone passed down from the immortal era. It contains an ancient and mysterious Tao, and you can study it. What do you think?" Shui Ziju said. Chapter 1679. Lin Feng was naturally very interested in the mysterious immortal stone that had been passed down since the immortal era. Of course, Lin Feng also needed to know what the Snow Clan wanted from him. If he could do it, he would agree. If he couldn't, he wouldn't agree. Lin Feng said, "Tell me, what is it?" Shui Ziju said, "It's to strengthen a seal." "That's not a difficult task. You can leave for now. I'm going to wash myself and change into a clean set of clothes. Of course, if you want to admire my impressive figure, I don't mind if you stay here and watch," Lin Feng said indifferently. "How shameless!" Shui Zimei couldn't help but snort coldly. Shui Ziju and Shui Zixian blushed and hurried out. Shui Zimei followed behind them. "This person is really free and easy," Shui Ziju said. "Yes, he really does whatever he wants. He doesn't have any scruples," Shui Zixian said. Shui Zimei pursed her lips and said, "I think he's just a stinky hooligan." Shui Ziju and Shui Zixian knew that it was because Lin Feng had captured her. Their big sister was prejudiced against Lin Feng, so they didn't say much. Lin Feng took out a cleansing talisman and cleaned himself. He changed into a clean set of clothes and walked out. When they saw the new Lin Feng, their eyes lit up. Lin Feng was handsome and confident, and he had a calm temperament, as if he was in control of everything. Shui Zimei, Shui Ziju, and Shui Zixian had seen many handsome men, but this was the first time they had seen a man with Lin Feng's temperament. Thus, the three women couldn't help but marvel at Lin Feng's extraordinary temperament. "I haven't asked for your names yet," Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. Shui Ziju introduced herself. "This is my eldest sister, Shui Zimei, And my seventh sister, Xuezhi. My name is Xuezhi, and I'm ranked third among the 7 sisters. Lin Feng nodded. He didn't introduce himself because it was obvious that the 3 women already knew Xuezhi. How would Xuefei know his name? Please lead the way. Lin Feng cupped his fists. Lin Gongzi, please come with us, Xuezhi said. The 3 women were walking at the front, and Lin Feng was following behind them. These 3 women's swaying bodies were truly too beautiful to behold. He followed the 3 women back to the land of the Snow Clan. The Snow Clan was located in the depths of Snow City. There were about 200,000 members of the Snow Clan, and about 5,000 core members. After entering the territory of the Snow Clan, Lin Feng noticed that there were many beautiful women of the Snow Clan. These girls of the Snow Clan were all beautiful. Perhaps it had something to do with their race. The Snow Clan was rich in beauties. Lin Feng! A surprised voice could be heard. Xuezhi and Xuefei ran over. They were very happy to see Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded at them. After chatting for a while, he left with Xuezhi, Xuezhi, and Xuezhi. They were going to take Lin Feng to see Xuezhi. Xuezhi was the leader of the Snow Clan, so it was only natural that Lin Feng wanted to see her. The Snow Clan rarely had guests, so when they saw Lin Feng, many girls surrounded Xuezhi and Xuefei. Who is that young master? Why are the 3 of you leading the way? Many girls from the Snow Clan asked in confusion. Xuezhi said, He's the Lin Gongzi we were talking about. The one who cut off Bing Xian's arm in one move. He's that Lin Gongzi? I didn't think he'd be so young. He's so handsome. The girls of the Snow Clan started to discuss excitedly. During this time, they had heard about how powerful the cultivator who had escorted Xuezhi and Xuefei back was. Now they were seeing it with their own eyes. When they discovered that he was so handsome, it would naturally arouse the interest of these young girls. Lin Feng met with Xuezhi and the others to discuss the matter of the seal. Lin Feng said, If I may ask, what is the thing we're going to seal this time? Xuezhi said, I wouldn't dare hide it from you, young master. We're going to seal a devil. A devil? What devil? Lin Feng asked curiously. It's a devil pagoda. More accurately, it's a broken one, Xuezhi said. Lin Feng was puzzled. A broken devil pagoda? Why does it need to be sealed? Xuezhi smiled bitterly. This devil pagoda is very strange. The weapon spirit is still alive, and it's very powerful and very evil. Once it comes out, it'll cause great chaos. Since the primordial era, the Snow Clan has been responsible for sealing this devil pagoda. Now that the seal has loosened, and we heard from Xuezhi and Xuefei that Lin Gongzi is very proficient in formations, we invited Lin Gongzi to help us seal the pagoda. Lin Feng had given Xuezhi and Xuefei some pointers on how to cultivate formations on the way back to Snow Castle. Thus, the 2 girls knew how proficient Lin Feng was in formations. Lin Feng nodded. All right. When will we go and reinforce the seal? Xuezhi said. We're still preparing some of the materials for the formation. We'll be able to reinforce the seal in about 3 days. During this time, you can rest in the clan. Lin Feng didn't have any objections to this. After chatting for a while, Xuezhi brought Lin Feng to a courtyard to rest. Xuezhi arranged for Lin Feng to stay in Inga's courtyard. There were many snow orioles here. The snow orioles' voices were very pleasant to the ears. It was like a beautiful woman singing. That was how Inga's courtyard got its name. After Lin Feng settled down, Xuezhi and Xuefei went to see Lin Feng. If there's anything you need, you have to tell us, Xuezhi said. Xuefei took out a plate of fruit and placed it on the table. This is snow fruit. There are only 3 of these left, and they're a specialty of the Snow Clan. They're very precious. Try them. Thank you, young ladies, said Lin Feng while bowing hand over fist. Then, he tasted the snow fruit. It tasted sweet and delicious. It tastes good, Lin Feng praised. Seeing that Lin Feng liked it, Xuezhi and Xuefei were very happy. After dinner, Lin Feng returned to his residence. In the dead of night, Xue Zimei went to Lin Feng's residence. Lin Feng was very surprised. He didn't know why this woman had come to his residence in the middle of the night. Could it be that you want to talk about life with me in the middle of the night? Lin Feng looked at Xue Zimei with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Xue Zimei said coldly, I'd rather talk about life with a pig than talk about life with you. You've got really strong tastes. Lin Feng took 3 steps back and looked at Xue Zimei with disdain. Xue Zimei had only said it casually to make fun of Lin Feng, but when she saw Lin Feng's expression, she was furious. She sneered and said, Today, I was caught by you because I was careless. Let's fight again. I'll definitely defeat you. You want to fight me? You want to fight me? I don't have time to fight with you. Lin Feng pursed his lips. If I lose, you can ask for anything you want. Xue Zimei groaned. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Xue Zimei's hot body. Are you serious? Any condition? Chapter 1680. After seeing Lin Feng's evil eyes, Xue Zimei felt a little proud. Didn't this bastard say that her body wasn't good enough? Look at him now. Obviously, he was lying. Bastard, watch how I deal with you later. Xue Zimei sneered and said, Any condition is fine, but let's see if you have the ability. As soon as she finished speaking, Xue Zimei quickly rushed towards Lin Feng. Xue Zimei's body emitted a strong wave of energy. Second firmament true god realm. Lin Feng was shocked. At least you have some eyes. Now I'll activate my own magic power and use it to suppress you. Let's see how you fight against me. Xue Zimei sneered, as if she had already defeated Lin Feng. She used a divine ability that could freeze 10,000 miles. Cold she filled the air, trying to freeze Lin Feng. A second firmament true god realm cultivator could suppress Lin Feng. But Xue Zimei was from the Snow clan, and Lin Feng had heavenly fire. Therefore, it would be very difficult for Xue Zimei to suppress Lin Feng in a real fight. Everything in the world had a counter to each other, and this principle was fully demonstrated here. Lin Feng's body burned fiercely. Whoosh! In the next moment, heavenly fire roared out, instantly breaking Xue Purple Plum's icebound 10,000 miles technique. Then the golden dragon flames turned into a golden dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as it rushed towards Xue Zimei. Xue Zimei snorted. I know you have heavenly fire, but it can't suppress me. Xue Zimei's left hand slapped out 3 times. Bang, bang, bang. One palm after another landed on the golden dragon's body. The golden dragon. It was forced back by Xue Zimei's attacks. Although heavenly fire could suppress Xue Zimei's cultivation level was very high. It wasn't easy to suppress her. Xue Zimei became more and more pleased with herself. In her opinion, as long as she could block Lin Feng's heavenly fire, then Lin Feng would be nothing to be afraid of. Xue Zimei's right hand began to condense a new attack. She circulated her magic power, and a monstrous wave of magic power swept across the sky. This time, she used a divine ability called Snowfall. In the void, snow fell. The snowflakes bloomed in an instant. Then, he released an incredible amount of deadly energy which swept towards Lin Feng. It's too early to be proud. Lin Feng's expression indifferent. He waved his hand, a second type of heavenly fires with a wave of his hand. The black flame god incinerating fire transformed into a god of darkness. Wherever it passed, all the snowflakes were incinerated. Then, the god of darkness formed by the black flame god fire rushed towards Xue Zimei. A second type's heavenly fire! You have a second heavenly fire! How? Xue Zimei screamed in disbelief. Heavenly fire as since the beginning of time, there had only been 72 types of heavenly fire. And with the passage of time, many of them had disappeared from the world. Only a few types of heavenly fire could be passed down. Absorbing one kind of celestial fire was already an incredible opportunity. Surprisingly, Lin Feng could control 2 kinds of celestial fire. That was incredible. Lin Feng thought to himself. You're already so shocked by just 2 types of heavenly fire? What kind of expression would you have if you knew that I had 3 types of heavenly fire? Now that the god of darkness had joined the battle, Shwezime was immediately suppressed. Shwezime was strong, but she was restrained by the heavenly fire. Being able to use 60 to 70% of her cultivation was already not bad. Especially now that Lin Feng had 2 types of heavenly fire, Shwezime was having a hard time dealing with 2 types of heavenly fire. It was impossible for her to continue attacking Lin Feng. Shwezime's expression was ugly. She knew she couldn't continue like this, or she would definitely lose. Therefore, she decided to use the Snow Clan's secret technique. It was called Snow World, and it could create a world of snow to temporarily seal Lin Feng's 2 types of heavenly fire. Then, while the heavenly fire was sealed, she would use all her strength to defeat the bastard. Shwezime had already planned out her plan, but Lin Feng didn't give her the chance. Just as Shwezime was about to use the technique, she suddenly realized that a pair of strong hands had wrapped around her waist from behind. It was just like in the frost gravity chamber. Woman, you've lost again. Tell me, how should I punish you? Shwezime heard the voice in her ear. You. She couldn't speak coherently. Shwezime didn't expect to lose again. Moreover, he had been defeated so quickly. Before coming here, she didn't even think about losing. But now that she had lost, she was in Lin Feng's hands. Shwezime panicked. She had said that if she lost, she would agree to any of Lin Feng's conditions. Now she regretted it. She was afraid that Lin Feng would ask for too much. Let go of me! Shwezime wanted to break free from Lin Feng, but she realized that Lin Feng's hands were too strong. She couldn't break free. Shwezime couldn't do anything but panic. If you agree to a bet, you must accept your loss. Don't tell me you want to deny it, said Lin Feng with a half smile. His hot breath tickled Shwezime's ears, causing her face to blush. She could feel the warmth of Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's masculine she was so close to her that she could even feel Lin Feng's heartbeat. Shwezime was extremely nervous. She had never been in contact with a man before. The only 2 times she had been in contact with a man were with Lin Feng. The first time was in the ice gravity room, and the second time was here. Shwezime clenched her teeth. I'm not a shameless person. Fine, tell me. What do you want? I won't refuse you. When Lin Feng saw Shwezime's valiant expression, he guessed that she probably didn't want him to ask her to go to Mount Wu together. Said Lin Feng, smiling. I want you, said Lin Feng. Ah! Pervert! Screamed Shwezime. She wailed in her heart. Was she going to lose her virginity this time? Shwezime was nervous, afraid, and worried. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. I want you to be my maid for 3 days. You'll serve me tea and massage my shoulders. What are you thinking? Shwezime was stunned. Her face turned so red that it looked like blood was going to drip out. She really was thinking the wrong way. But at this time, anyone would think the wrong way. Lin Feng let go of Shwezime and smiled. Stay here tonight. If I need anything at night, I'll let you know. Humph. Shwezime snorted, but didn't refute. She waved her right hand, and a 3-meter-tall immortal stone flew out. Lin Feng's eyelids twitched when he saw it. Chapter 1681. A celestial stone? Lin Feng looked at Shwezime and asked. That's right. This is the immortal stone passed down from the immortal ancient era, Shwezime said. Lin Feng said. So you're here to give me a celestial stone, but you've gotten yourself involved. Bastard, you're still talking? Shwezime glared at Lin Feng. Now that she had become Lin Feng's servant, if news of this spread, Shwezime wouldn't know what to do anymore. Lin Feng grabbed Shwezime's hand and slapped her 3 times. Slap, slap, slap! Ah, you're shameless! Shwezime covered where she'd been slapped, blushing as she glared at Lin Feng. However, there was a hint of mist in her eyes. Shwezime was both angry and embarrassed. A maidservant should act like a maidservant. Don't make a fuss in front of your master. If you dare to be so impolite again, I'll upgrade you from a maidservant who serves tea to a maidservant who warms the bed," Lin Feng said with a smile. Although she hated being called a servant, Shuezime didn't dare act rashly in front of Lin Feng. What if Lin Feng really made her a bed-warming servant? Lin Feng looked at the celestial stone and asked, "Did you notice anything special about that celestial stone?" Shuezime smiled and said, "Of course I did. However, I can't tell you clearly. Whether or not you can comprehend its secrets will depend on your luck." Lin Feng nodded and moved the celestial stone back to his room. Bang! Then, Lin Feng closed the door and cast a deployment spell so Shuezime wouldn't disturb him. Shuezime shouted angrily, "Bastard, this is my house! You're guarding against me like I'm a thief! Just you wait! I'm not done with you!" Shuezime found a place to rest after being angry for a while. Lying on the bed next to Lin Feng's figure lingered in her mind. All the anger she had accumulated over the years seemed to be less than the anger she felt today. Thinking of Lin Feng, Shuezime felt like gnashing her teeth. But in the end, she seemed to have thought of something and smiled. Shuezime, who was already very seductive, was so beautiful when she smiled. This woman's entire body was filled with extreme temptation. Lin Feng naturally didn't care about what Shuezime was thinking at this moment. He was carefully examining this immortal stone. This immortal stone was truly extraordinary. Lin Feng could sense the mysterious power contained within this immortal stone. This mysterious energy flowed within the immortal stone. He reached out and touched the immortal stone. He could vaguely feel the aura of life. Immortal stones give birth to life? Lin Feng mumbled to himself. Then, he opened his heavenly demon snake eye, wanting to see if the immortal stone was really giving birth to life. If that was the case, this immortal stone was too extraordinary. Heavenly demon snake eye. It could see through the origin of all things. Vaguely, Lin Feng saw a ball of immortal qi within the immortal stone. There seemed to be something within the immortal qi, but it stopped him from looking. Lin Feng channeled his magic power into the heavenly demon snake eye. The heavenly demon snake eye's ability to see through the origin of all things was fully activated. Gradually, he could vaguely see the existence within the immortal qi. It was curled up, like a fetus. When Lin Feng wanted to take a closer look, he suddenly felt a cold killing intent emanating from the immortal stone. Not good! Lin Feng was shocked. His hair stood on end. He quickly retracted his gaze and activated the Death God's armor to protect himself. Bang! The next moment, a terrifying force ruthlessly slammed into Lin Feng's body, sending Lin Feng flying. Wah! Lin Feng couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face was as white as paper. The immortal stone was very terrifying. It could defend itself. Lin Feng was spying on the secret of the immortal stone, and was counterattacked by the immortal stone. The immortal stone flew up and smashed towards Lin Feng. Damn! The immortal stone is alive! Lin Feng wanted to cry but had no tears. He got up from the ground and hurriedly dodged. The immortal stone's attack didn't hit him. Instead, it smashed a 5 to 6 meter deep hole in the ground. Then, the immortal stone fell silent. Lin Feng sat on the ground and smiled bitterly. This immortal stone was too strange. It was too terrifying. Fortunately, he dodged quickly. Otherwise, if he was hit, he would have been smashed half to death. He operated the immortal divine body to recover from his injuries. Then, he sat cross-legged and sensed the wonders of this immortal stone. 5 hearts towards the sky, heaven and man sensing! After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng vaguely heard a voice coming from the immortal stone. Gradually, he seemed to have a special reaction. Lin Feng felt as if he had disappeared from the room, disappeared from the 9 provinces. His body. He appeared in the boundless starry sky. In the dark and cold starry sky world, he sat cross-legged with his 5 hearts towards the sky, sensing the starry sky world. This was a very wonderful state of cultivation. This state of cultivation allowed Lin Feng to enter a mysterious state. But unfortunately, he cultivated for 3 days. He couldn't comprehend anything useful. The immortal stone is very extraordinary. I need some time to comprehend it. Lin Feng touched his chin. He opened the door. He called out, "Servant girl, where are you? Help me tidy up my room." After hearing Lin Feng's voice, Shuezime came out of the living room and looked at Lin Feng fiercely. Obviously, she had a problem with Lin Feng calling her servant girl instead of her name. However, after the lesson last time, Shuezime didn't say anything. Lin Feng hugged Shuezime's waist, then looked at her and said, "What was that look in your eyes just now? You're just a servant girl, yet you dare to look at your master with such unfriendly eyes? Do you still have any manners?" Shuezime blushed and said, "You must have seen wrongly. How could this servant dare to look at you with such unfriendly eyes?" Lin Feng pinched her chin. The more he looked at her face, the prettier it became. Being so close to Lin Feng, Shuezime's breathing became hurried, and her heartbeat sped up. She looked away, not daring to look at Lin Feng. In her panic, she pushed Lin Feng away and entered the room. When she saw the mess in the room, she couldn't help but shout, "Are you tearing down the house? The immortal stone is very strange." "It's attacking me," Lin Feng said. "The immortal stone has a spirit. Don't provoke it," Shuezime said. At night, Shuezihua came to Lin Feng's residence. Shuezihua was actually a bit confused about why her elder sister had been staying with Lin Feng for the past few days. Shuezime's reason was that she was worried that Lin Feng would have evil thoughts while meditating on the immortal stone by himself. She was worried that Lin Feng would sneak away with the immortal stone, so she had been keeping an eye on him. Although Shuezihua felt that Shuezime was making a fuss over nothing, she was still her elder sister, so it wasn't convenient for her to say anything. When she saw Shuezime's flushed face, as if she had just been intimate with a man, Shuezihua couldn't help but wonder if something had happened between her elder sister and Lin Feng. Of course, Shuezihua wouldn't say it out loud. She planned to find an opportunity to ask about it in a roundabout way. Shuezihua had come to tell Lin Feng that the materials for the formation were ready, and that they could go tomorrow to reinforce the formation. Lin Feng nodded in agreement. Shuezihua gave Shuezime a look. Shuezime didn't want to continue staying with Lin Feng, lest Shuezihua became suspicious. Thus, she left Lin Feng's residence with Shuezihua. Chapter 1682. When they returned, Shuezihua said, "This Lin Feng is young, talented, and powerful. His future is limitless." "Him? He's just a hooligan," Shuezihua snorted. Shuezihua said without batting an eyelid, "Could it be that something happened between him and Big Sister? Otherwise, why would you call him a hooligan?" Shuezime panicked and said, "What can happen between us?" Shuezihua wasn't stupid, and she could guess that Shuezihua was trying to get information from her. Actually, even though she and Lin Feng had a little bit of intimacy, nothing had happened between them. Therefore, Shuezime wasn't worried at all. She asked, "Could it be that you think something will happen between us?" Shuezihua said, "As the leader of the Snow Clan, I won't be able to find a man in this lifetime, but you're different. A woman should find a man. This Lin Feng is a good man, and he has potential. If he can become a couple with you, he'll be able to help the Snow Clan in the future." Shuezihua's heart skipped a beat, and she thought about what Shuezihua had said. She felt that it made sense. However, Shuezihua naturally didn't want to admit it. "That brat seems to be interested in Seventh Sister. If Fifth Sister really wants to rope him in, you can talk to Seventh Sister. I'm tired, so I won't stay here any longer." Shuezihua got up and left. The next day, Lin Feng met up with Mei, Lan, Zhu, Hua, and Fairy Hua. They looked like 7 celestial fairies standing together. Each of them was beautiful. They were like fresh flowers competing with each other. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said, "I've kept you waiting. Let's go." The 7 of them looked at Lin Feng at the same time. They were very curious about Lin Feng. He was so young, but he was so powerful. He definitely had an extraordinary background. However, Lin Feng didn't say much about him, so the 7 of them couldn't find out more about him. Although they felt like their hearts were being scratched, they could only suppress their curiosity. If Lin Feng didn't say anything, they naturally wouldn't ask. After all, if they tried to pry into other people's secrets, it would easily make them unhappy. The 7 of them were naturally worried about this. The sealed land is within the Snow Clan's territory. Lin Gongzi, please follow us, said Shui Zihua. Lin Feng nodded and followed the 7. They arrived in the depths of the territory of the Snow Clan, where there was a tunnel leading to the ground. There were 2 elders of the Snow Clan guarding the passage. Seeing Mei Lan Zhu and Hua Ling Xian come, the 2 elders just raised their eyes. Clearly, they had a very high status in the Snow Clan. They Zihua and Hua, they didn't need to. Instead, it was Shui Zihua and the other girls who bowed slightly towards the 2 elders. Shui Zimei said, "We still need to wait for the Grand Elder and the others." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and said, "The clan leader still needs to wait for the Grand Elder? Your Snow Clan is quite interesting." Shui Zimei smiled bitterly and said, "It's a long story. I can't explain it in a short time." After a short time, a beam of light appeared in the distance. Lin Feng looked over and saw a beautiful woman who looked to be in her 30s flying towards him. That's the Snow Clan's Grand Elder. She's called Shui Qianwu, and she's our godmother's younger sister. She's cultivated for 720,000 years and is at the 5th heavenly layer of the true God realm. She's stronger than any of us. Shui Zimei whispered. True gods had a lifespan of more than 10 million years, so Shui Qianwu was still very young despite having cultivated for 720,000 years. Lin Feng was guessing that the relationship between Shui Qianwu and Mei Lan Zhu, Hua, Ling Xian and Shui Qianwu wasn't very harmonious. In reality, Lin Feng's guess was very accurate. The previous clan leader had taken in the 7 sisters and focused on nurturing them. The 7 sisters had displayed shocking talent, and their cultivation had increased very quickly. Later, the previous clan leader had been plotted against and died from serious injuries. Shui Qianwu had thought that she would become the clan leader. After all, she was the previous clan leader's younger sister. But who would have thought that the previous clan leader would appoint Shui Zihua as the new clan leader? This naturally caused Shui Qianwu to be jealous. Shui Qianwu had wanted to overthrow Shui Zihua's position as clan leader, but after Shui Zihua became the clan leader, the Snow Clan began to recover from their decline and their strength increased day by day. They were loved and respected by everyone. Thus, Shui Qianwu's plan was stopped before it could be carried out. Shui Qianwu had never been someone who was content with her lot. She was very ambitious and had been secretly accumulating strength. Perhaps this was the reason why the previous clan leader didn't pass the position to Shui Qianwu. Now, the Snow Clan needed to recuperate and slowly recover. Shui Qianwu's ambition was too great. Once she gained control of the Snow Clan, she would definitely think of ways to quickly expand the Snow Clan's territory. But in reality, the Snow Clan didn't have the ability to expand their territory. Thus, if Shui Qianwu became the clan leader, the Snow Clan would very likely be destroyed by her hands. But Shui Qianwu didn't think so. She wanted to be the patriarch of the Snow Clan even in her dreams. Anyone who tried to stop her from becoming the patriarch of the Snow Clan would be her enemy. Shui Qianwu quickly flew over and landed, looking very arrogant. If others didn't know, they would have thought that Shui Qianwu was the clan leader. Shui Qianwu glanced at Lin Feng and couldn't help but frown. She asked, "Who is this?" Shui Zihua replied, "This is a fellow Taoist we invited. He's proficient in formations. This fellow Taoist will help us strengthen the formation." Shui Qianwu sneered. "I only hope that the clan leader clears her eyes and doesn't get tricked by some riffraff." Shui Qianwu was rather impudent, and she didn't seem to care about Shui Zihua at all. Shui Zihua said indifferently, "You don't have to worry about that, Grand Elder. Just take care of your own matters. As for other matters, you don't have the authority to care about them." Shui Qianwu sneered and didn't say anything else. Elders, please open the passage, Shui Zihua said. The two elders of the Snow clan opened their eyes, and their hands kept changing spells. Rays of divine light shot into the seal. With a loud rumble, the seal on the passage was opened. Let's go in, Shui Zihua said. Shui Qianwu was the first to fly in. This woman is a bit crazy, Lin Feng muttered. Ignore her. She's a woman who's been driven mad by her desire for power. Shui Zihua pursed her lips, clearly not thinking much of Shui Qianwu. After Shui Qianwu flew in, Shui Zihua and the others followed. Lin Feng and Shui Zihua were the last to enter. The passage was deep and dark, and even after flying for a long time, they still couldn't reach the sealed area. Shui Zihua said, "The place where the Devil Tower is sealed is 1,000 miles underground. There's an Emperor's rune there." Lin Feng was shocked. Was the Devil Tower that terrifying? It actually needed an Emperor's rune to seal it? Chapter 1683. Lin Feng didn't know much about the Demon Tower before. Now that Shui Zimei had told him about it, he realized how extraordinary the Demon Tower was. Lin Feng asked, "What's the origin of this tower?" Shui Zimei replied, "It's said to be a supreme treasure of a demon lord. Who in the world dared to call themselves a demon lord? Even emperors of the demonic Tao. Even existences like the Samsara Demon Emperor and the Netherworld Demon Emperor didn't dare call themselves a demon lord. What was a demon lord? The lord of all demons was a demon lord. It didn't matter if they were sky demons, earth demons, or human demons. Anything related to the demonic Tao. They were all included. This included many demon emperors. In front of a demon lord, they had to bow their heads and worship him. A demon lord had commanded. In all the worlds, who dared to disobey the three demons of heaven, earth, and human? Therefore, a demon lord represented an extraordinary existence. The lord of all demons. What cultivation level did such an existence have? Lin Feng couldn't guess. Perhaps he had surpassed emperors? More than 2 hours later, the group arrived at the space where the tower had been. One end of the chains was embedded in the rock wall, while the other end was wrapped around a pitch-black demonic tower. Only the bottom 3 floors of the pitch-black demonic pagoda remained. The upper floors of the pagoda were nowhere to be seen. Clouds of demonic chi were emitted from the tower. There was a huge energy shield that enveloped the demonic pagoda. "It's this tower!" 18 demon sealing chains bind the tower, and 9 emperor runes intertwine to form a sealing barrier that seals the tower. However, these emperor runes will gradually weaken with the passage of time, so every few years, we will strengthen the emperor runes. Shui Zihua pointed at the energy barrier. This was the sealing barrier that Shui Zihua had mentioned, formed by the emperor runes. The emperor runes that controlled the barrier were located at the bottom of the underground world. There were violent fluctuations, and the 9 emperor runes looked like 9 dragons resting on the ground. What a powerful demonic pagoda! It actually needs the demon sealing chain and the emperor's rune to suppress it. It's hard to imagine how terrifying it would be if this demonic pagoda were to break free. Lin Feng was extremely shocked. Shui Zihua said, "There are 9 of us, and each of us is responsible for a part of the emperor's inscriptions. However, using the emperor's inscriptions is extremely taxing on our minds, and we'll feel exhausted very quickly. Once we're exhausted, the demon tower will use a bewitching technique to make us develop inner demons. That's why we need to resist the demon tower's inner demons. If we can't resist the demon tower's inner demons, we'll be controlled by the demon tower, and that'll be terrible. If that happens, the demon tower will destroy our emperor's inscriptions and help it escape. This demonic pagoda is so strange." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. Shui Zihua said, "The demonic pagoda is currently sealed, so the power it can use is limited. Right now, if the 9 of us attack together, the power of the devil pagoda will work together on our bodies. The 9 of us will disperse the power of the devil pagoda, so there's no need to worry too much." Lin Feng nodded. Perhaps this was why Mei Lan Zhuhua and Hualing Xian had asked him for help. Every additional person who came to reinforce the seal would disperse the power of the Devil Pagoda. This way, it would be easier to seal the Devil Pagoda. The 9 of them landed one after another. There were 9 Emperor's inscriptions in total, and each of them was responsible for repairing one Emperor's inscriptions. Xue Zihua distributed the materials needed to repair the Emperor's inscriptions to everyone, and they split up to repair the damaged Emperor's inscriptions. This was Lin Feng's first time coming into contact with Emperor's inscriptions. The Snow Clan's Emperor's inscriptions wouldn't attack people like them. It was said that the Emperor's inscriptions had a trace of spirituality, and they could differentiate between who they would attack and who they wouldn't attack. Although this sounded a bit unbelievable, it was true. Lin Feng carefully studied the inscriptions. He discovered that the structure of the inscriptions was incomparably complicated. Each inscription was densely packed together with countless inscriptions. If a cultivator below the God realm saw the Emperor's inscriptions, their soul wouldn't be able to withstand it. Their soul would immediately shatter and they would die. If a Void God realm cultivator looked at the Emperor's inscriptions, their soul would be greatly damaged. If a Divine Flame realm cultivator looked at the Emperor's inscriptions, they would have a splitting headache. At the very least, a true God realm cultivator would be required to repair the inscriptions. Lin Feng's cultivation hadn't reached the true God realm. However, the Emperor's inscriptions here wouldn't attack or harm him, so he could repair them. Time passed. Under everyone's efforts, the Emperor's inscriptions were gradually being repaired and perfected. Just as everyone was repairing the Emperor's inscriptions, the sealed Devil Pagoda suddenly vibrated with a strange power. Great demonic mirage! Great demonic mirage! Suddenly, a mysterious voice came from the demonic pagoda. It was like a demonic voice, causing people to lose themselves step by step. Lin Feng suddenly realized that he'd disappeared from the underground world. He'd arrived in a pink world. Release yourself to your heart's content. There are 8 delicate beauties here, and they're all yours now. A bewitching voice sounded. Plum blossom, orchid, bamboo, chrysanthemum, painting, spirit fairy, and the other 7 beauties. There was also Shui Qianwu. All of them came over. They surrounded Lin Feng. Each of them was extremely charming, seducing Lin Feng. Any man who saw these 8 passionate beauties would probably be unable to restrain their inner desires. However, Lin Feng's eyes were clear. He sneered and said, "A mere illusion! You want to seduce me? What a joke!" A bright light flashed in his eyes, and Buddhist light coiled around his body. In an instant, the 8 beauties, Mei Lan Zhu, Zhu Hua, Spiritual Fairy Hua, and Shui Qianwu, all disappeared without a trace. The pink world in front of him turned into a world of darkness. This world of darkness was also an illusory space. Your illusory space is useless against me. Trapping me in an illusory space is futile. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Keek, boy. Not bad, you broke the illusory space I created so quickly. Perhaps we can sit down and have a good talk. The Devil Pagoda suddenly appeared in this world of darkness, and a sinister voice sounded from it. Talk about what? What do I have to talk about with you? Lin Feng sneered. Of course, we're talking about cooperation. You're young, but you have great potential. If you let me out, I'll become a great help to you. In the future, you might even become a great emperor. What do you think of this deal? The sinister voice sounded from the Devil Pagoda again. Lin Feng smiled icily. I'm going to become a great emperor. I don't need your help, do I? Besides, who knows what kind of thing you are? If I let you out, I might cause a calamity. Who knows how many people will die? Even I might be tricked by you. When that happens, I'll end up dead. Do you think I'll believe your nonsense? Chapter 1684. As the saying goes, gold and stone can move. After we work together, you will know how sincere I am. The mysterious being said. Forget it. Even if you have a glib tongue, I have no interest in working with you. Lin Feng sneered. If you help me, I can pass on the Demon Lord's legacy to you. How about it? The mysterious existence spoke in a gentle and enticing voice. The Demon Lord's legacy? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Who is this Demon Lord? The mysterious being asked. He is an unparalleled existence. If I tell you, you will be scared to death. Lin Feng became interested and said, Hurry up and tell me. Let's see if you can scare me to death. I can't wait to be scared to death by you. Kid, do you think I'm stupid? If you don't work with me, why would I tell you this? The mysterious being sneered. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, You've said so much. You've painted a big picture for me, but I won't be able to eat it, right? How can I have so much free time to argue with you? Heavenly Demon Snake Eye! Break! Lin Feng shouted. He opened the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye. Heavenly Demon Snake Eye. It could see through the origin of all things in the world. After the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye opened, the illusory space created by the demonic pagoda was instantly broken. Lin Feng returned to the real world. He was still standing in front of the Emperor Rune. Mei Lan Zhu, Hua Lingxian, and Xue Qianwu had their eyes closed. Obviously, they were still in the illusion. TSK. They are all veterans, but they didn't break the illusion before me. Their standards are too low. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel proud. He ignored the others and squatted down to repair the Emperor Rune that he was in charge of. The illusion created by the Demon Pagoda was very special. Everyone could only rely on themselves to break the illusion. If someone helped, then, the person who helped would also be pulled into the illusion. At that time, the power of the illusion would be greatly increased. Lin Feng's Heavenly Demon Snake Eye had broken the illusion of the Devil Pagoda. However, if the demonic pagoda's illusory realm was enhanced several times or even more than 10 times, then even the Heavenly Demon Snake Eye would not be able to break it. So at this time, not helping was the best choice. Not long after, Xue Qianwu woke up. Her cultivation was the highest, so it wasn't strange for her to be the first to break the illusion. Xue Qianwu looked at Mei, Lan, Zhu, Hua, and Spiritual Fairy proudly. Seeing that the 7 ladies were still in the illusion, she sneered. But in the next moment, Xue Qianwu's expression froze because she saw that Lin Feng was actually squatting in front of the monarch pattern and repairing it. How is this possible? Xue Qianwu's face was filled with disbelief. In her opinion, Lin Feng's cultivation was the lowest. The last person to overcome the illusion should be Lin Feng. How did Lin Feng become the first to overcome the illusion? This made Xue Qianwu very puzzled. But Lin Feng had indeed overcome the illusion. This was an indisputable fact. Xue Qianwu looked at Lin Feng and asked, How did you overcome the illusion? Do you want to know? Lin Feng glanced at Xue Qianwu and smiled faintly. Why would I ask if I don't want to know? Xue Qianwu couldn't help but roll her eyes. One had to admit that if a person was beautiful, even an action like rolling her eyes was very charming. Lin Feng didn't like Xue Qianwu's arrogant personality. In fact, he hated it. However, Lin Feng didn't have any resistance towards Xue Qianwu's body. This woman was indeed beautiful. But so what if she was beautiful? Lin Feng didn't even want to bother with Xue Qianwu. He said indifferently, Even if you want to know, I won't tell you. You dare to trick me? Xue Qianwu looked at Lin Feng angrily. At this moment, Xue Zihua also woke up. Seeing that Xue Zihua had woken up, Xue Qianwu snorted and retracted her gaze. She didn't continue to argue with Lin Feng. After Xue Zihua woke up, Xue Zimei and the others also woke up. When they found out that Lin Feng was the first person to overcome the illusion, they were extremely shocked. Mei Lan, Zhu, and Hua Lingxian knew how powerful the Devil Pagoda's illusions were. It was Lin Feng's first time coming into contact with such a powerful illusion, and he was actually able to overcome it in such a short time. What did this mean? The 7 girls were very clear about it. At this moment, Xue Zimei was even thinking if she should really do as her 5th sister, Xue Zihua, said and seduce Lin Feng. Following a man like Lin Feng. It seemed pretty good. However, Shuezime's face quickly turned pink, and she couldn't help but spit at herself in her heart. What was she thinking about? In the past, she wouldn't have thought about such things. Since Lin Feng had appeared, she had been thinking about many things that would make her blush and her heart race. Shuezime couldn't help but stare fiercely at Lin Feng. She blamed everything on Lin Feng. If this guy hadn't appeared, how could she have become like this? Lin Feng and Shuezime weren't far from each other, and he also saw Shuezime's glare. Lin Feng felt strange. Did he offend this woman? Why is she glaring at me? After muttering to himself, he ignored Shuezime and continued to focus on repairing the Emperor's mark. It took about half a month for the 9 of them to finish repairing the Emperor's mark. It's finally done! Everyone let out a long sigh of relief. After half a month of working day and night to repair the Emperor's mark, everyone was physically and mentally exhausted. They didn't continue to stay, and directly soared into the sky and flew outside. After returning outside, everyone dispersed and returned to their own residences to rest. When Lin Feng passed by Shuezime, he said in a low voice, "Come and help me bathe." Shuezime blushed and glared fiercely at Lin Feng. 3 days have passed. I'm not your servant anymore. I see. Then I'll invite you again. Let's bathe together. What do you think? Said Lin Feng with a smile. Shuezime bit her red lips, her eyes sparkling. She humped softly and left Lin Feng behind. Lin Feng was confused. What did this woman mean? Did he agree or not? After returning to Ying's courtyard, Lin Feng soaked in a hot spring bath, changed into clean clothes, and slept well. The next day, Lin Feng continued to study the Snow Clan's immortal stone. This immortal stone was no small matter. Lin Feng had the feeling that it contained an enormous secret. However, in order to comprehend it, one needed luck. He hadn't given up on studying the immortal stone. He sat down cross-legged, his palms facing the sky, and continued to study the immortal stone's mysteries. Heaven and earth as one. Heaven and earth as one. Suddenly, the faintly discernible voice from the immortal stone spoke again. Chapter 1685. Between heaven and earth, the door of Xianpin, all living things are nothingness. Heaven and earth are one, immortal and immortal. A deep voice echoed in Lin Feng's mind. This voice was filled with mystery. It was as if the voice of the heavenly Tao was drifting over. Lin Feng felt that he had once again arrived at the boundless starry sky. Last time, the voice he heard was heaven's perception, but this time, it was heaven and earth being one. Lin Feng did not know if heaven's perception was related to heaven and earth being one. However, there was one thing he was clear about. Whether it was heaven and earth being one or heaven's perception, it was an extraordinary Tao. This was definitely an extremely extraordinary Tao. Now, what he needed to do was to comprehend this Tao from the celestial stone and master it. Lin Feng gradually felt as if he had become a star in an eternal world. He was eternal and had become one with heaven and earth. Then, he moved along with the movement of the stars in the sky. Sometimes, Lin Feng felt as if he would become a speck of dust in the starry sky. Just like countless specks of dust. He would drift around in this world, searching for his own home. Lin Feng did not know what Tao this was, but he was trying his best to comprehend it. However, no matter what, he had to comprehend it. He felt as if it was right in front of him, but also far away. Trying to comprehend this Tao from a distance, it was always just a hair's breadth away. Like the moon in the well. Flowers in the water. Unattainable. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng opened his eyes and sighed. He still had not comprehended the Tao of heaven and earth contained in the immortal stone. The more powerful a Tao was, the more difficult it would be to comprehend it. He was very clear about this. Therefore, there was no point in being anxious when it came to comprehending the Tao. At this time, one had to rely on luck. Lin Feng felt that he needed to rest. He walked out of the courtyard and strolled around the courtyard. Many servants bowed to Lin Feng when they saw him. Not long after, Shui Xian and Shui Fei arrived. Clearly, they knew that Lin Feng had come out of seclusion and had come to look for him. Shui Fei asked, "Did you gain anything from comprehending the immortal stone?" Lin Feng smiled bitterly. "I did. However, I haven't been able to comprehend anything useful," said Shui Xian. "It's good that you've gained something. I'm sure you'll be able to comprehend some ancient Daos very quickly." "I hope so." Lin Feng smiled. Shui Fei replied, "Something big happened recently. I'm sure you don't know about it yet." "Oh? What happened?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "Didn't we talk about the lost civilization of the immortal era some time ago?" Shui Fei said. Lin Feng nodded. "That's right. Yes, he did. Has this lost civilization been discovered?" Shui Fei nodded and said, "That's right. He had really been found." In the depths of the ice field, an illusory world had appeared. There were mountains, palaces, and many temples. It seemed to be a sacrificial temple. Many strong cultivators were alarmed and came from everywhere. It was said that the 10 great celestial sects had sent their vice patriarchs. The sect masters of the 10 great immortal sects were all at the level of giant gods, characters who looked down on the heavens. In that case, the vice patriarchs of the 10 great immortal sects were at least at the heavenly god realm. The lost civilization of the immortal era is no small matter. It's not strange for it to attract so many strong cultivators, Lin Feng said. Shui Xian said, "That world hasn't truly appeared yet, but some people have already seen many strange sights. For example, there are dragons, phoenixes, and even fairies." Lin Feng was shocked. "Are they real creatures? Or are they just some images left behind from the past?" Shui Xian shook her head. "We don't know. We'll have to wait for that lost civilization to appear. We'll only know once we enter it." Lin Feng nodded. He chatted with Shui Xian and Shui Fei for more than 2 hours before parting ways. Lin Feng returned to his residence. The lost civilization of the immortal era had appeared. It was no small matter. Thus, when the lost civilization appeared, Lin Feng planned to explore it and see if there were any opportunities. Not long after he returned, Shui Zimei came to see him. Shui Zimei was as charming as ever. Lin Feng smiled and said, "You came to see me when I came out of seclusion? Was it because you missed me?" Shui Zimei glanced at Lin Feng and said, "Yes, because I miss you. I can't sleep and I can't eat." Lin Feng hugged Shui Zimei's waist and said, "I didn't know that I was so charming. Let go." Shui Zimei snorted. "No, I like hugging you like this." He sat down on a stool, and Shui Zimei sat on his lap. She bit her lip. "Do you think I won't scream that you're being molested?" Lin Feng smiled. "Do you want me to do it for you? Shameless!" Shui Zimei spat at Lin Feng. When she saw that Lin Feng had no intention of letting her go, she simply let Lin Feng continue hugging her. However, she was still a little shy and didn't dare look into Lin Feng's eyes. "I came to tell you something. Recently, a lost civilization has appeared. It should be a civilization from the immortal era. If you're interested, I'll send someone to call you when that civilization truly appears," said Lin Feng. Shui Zimei said, "How considerate. How should I reward you for being so considerate?" Lin Feng smiled. Shui Zimei saw that Lin Feng's eyes were getting hotter and hotter, and she couldn't help but panic. Taking advantage of Lin Feng's unpreparedness, she hurriedly struggled free. She snorted and said, "If you dare touch me again, I won't come here again." Shui Zimei quickly left. She didn't stay with Lin Feng, perhaps because she was worried that she wouldn't be able to control herself when she was alone. Or perhaps she was worried that Lin Feng would do something even more outrageous. After Shui Zimei left, Lin Feng returned to his room and continued studying the immortal stone. Unfortunately, Lin Feng hadn't been able to comprehend the Tao contained in the immortal stone until someone came to inform him that the lost civilization had appeared. The lost civilization had appeared. Of the 7 sisters, Mei, Lan, Ju, and Hua, only Shui Zihua didn't go because she had to stay in Snow City. Xue Xian and Xue Fei also followed Xue Zimei and the others to the lost civilization. In fact, they had left more than a month ago. After the lost civilization had appeared, they had sent a message to Snow City. By now, the lost civilization had already appeared for some time. Lin Feng gave the celestial stone to Xue Zihua. He wanted to study the great Tao of the celestial stone when he came back. Lin Feng was already very close to understanding the great Tao of the celestial stone, so he wasn't going to give up. However, the most important thing now was to go to the lost civilization and see if he could obtain any opportunities. The treasures passed down from the immortal era would definitely be heaven-defying. This was also the reason why so many cultivators came from all over the world, even from hundreds of millions of miles away. Chapter 1686. Lin Feng rushed to the lost civilization by himself. Along the way, he discovered that many cultivators were also flying toward the lost civilization. However, after these cultivators arrived at the icy plains, they were clearly not used to the temperature, and they were all shivering from the cold. The temperature of the icy plains was indeed too low. Cultivators who came here for the first time would find it difficult to adapt to such cold temperatures. However, Lin Feng had long since gotten used to the cold, so he did not feel anything. Lin Feng's speed was extremely fast, and he arrived at the lost civilization in half a month. "Demon King, do you know anything about this lost civilization?" asked the Demon King. Lin Feng asked. "I've heard of it. It's rumored that this lost civilization is related to the Archangels," Black Bear Devil Lord said. Lin Feng said, "I've heard of the angels. What kind of race is the Archangels?" "The Archangels are also part of the angels. However, they are the royal family of the angels. They are the noblest angels. The Archangels are born with 18 pairs of wings. You should know that the more wings an angel has, the more powerful their bloodline inheritance is. The greater their future potential, the greater their future achievements," Black Bear Devil Lord said. Lin Feng nodded. He then asked, "But is there anything special about the Archangels?" Black Bear Devil Lord said, "Of course, this race is special. They control the power of light, and they are the nemesis of all darkness." "The power of light?" Lin Feng was puzzled. Black Bear Devil Lord said, "In this world, there is light. There is darkness. Thus, light and darkness have existed since time immemorial. The Archangels control the most powerful Tao of light, and they are the messengers of light. Everywhere they go, they will drive away all darkness." Lin Feng stroked his chin and said, "The Archangels are actually so powerful. Doesn't that mean that cultivators of the Devil Tao, Evil Tao, and Ghost Tao are all suppressed by the Archangels? If I can obtain the great Tao of the Archangels, that would be amazing." Of course, Lin Feng knew that this would not be an easy task. When they were passing through a mountain range, a woman blocked Lin Feng's path. The surrounding cultivators who were passing by were all shocked when they saw the woman. She had a tall and slender figure, a charming figure, a beautiful university, and a charming temperament. Her entire body was filled with seduction. This woman was actually Xue Qianwu. "Isn't this Grand Elder Xue? Why are you blocking this little brother?" Lin Feng asked. Xue Qianwu sneered and said, "Don't try to get close to me. I'm not familiar with you." "You're not familiar with me? You want to throw yourself into my embrace? Sure, let's go to the forest now." Xue Qianwu. "Ha, little brother, can you do it?" Immediately, many of the cultivators who passed by burst into laughter. Each of them stared at Xue Qianwu's enchanting figure like a pack of hungry wolves, wanting nothing more than to devour Xue Qianwu in one bite. "Xue Xue Qianwu shouted coldly and sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng knew that Xue Qianwu did not have good intentions when she blocked him. That was why he had been on guard against her. Seeing Xue Qianwu's attack, he quickly retreated and dodged her attack. When Lin Feng was repairing the Emperor rune, he and Xue Qianwu had a conflict of words. Although it was not a big deal. But obviously, Xue Qianwu did not want to let Lin Feng go. This woman was someone who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. B***TCH. You're serious? I don't have the time to fight with you. You better not find trouble with me. Otherwise, I'll capture you and make you my slave, Lin Feng said fiercely. Reckless, who do you think you are? How dare you ask me to become your female slave? But your suggestion is not bad. I'll capture you now and make you my male slave. I'll trample on your dignity every day and let you know the consequences of offending me, Shui Qianwu. I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. Shui Qianwu sneered and rushed over. You're a crazy woman. Today, this young master will tolerate you for the time being. Just you wait. When you land in my hands, see how I'll teach you. Lin Feng looked indifferent as he turned into a stream of light and flew away. Shui Qianwu chased after him. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. Even if Shui Qianwu was at the fifth heaven of the true God realm, she could not catch up to him. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Soon, Shui Qianwu was left behind by Lin Feng. Shui Qianwu has an ice body, Black Bear Devil King said. Ice body? What's so special about this body? Lin Feng asked. Hee. It's a body that's very suitable for dual cultivation. When your cultivation increases, you can indeed subdue her and make her a cultivation vessel. It'll be very helpful for your cultivation, Black Bear Devil King said. Black Bear Devil King used to follow Demon Emperor Chonglu. Demon Emperor Chonglu was a demon emperor who knew how many dual cultivation vessels he had. Hence, Black Bear Devil King was very familiar with such matters. Lin Feng rubbed his chin and said, That's a good idea. But I need to increase my cultivation first. I'm still not a match for this crazy woman. After flying for 3 days, Lin Feng finally saw the Lost World. It was hazy. The Lost World was enveloped by a ball of divine light. Within the divine light, a vast world appeared. That world emitted an ancient aura. Many cultivators flew towards that world at high speed. Lin Feng also quickly flew towards the Lost World. When his body came into contact with the divine light that enveloped the Lost World, Lin Feng felt his body being enveloped by space-time energy. Swish! Immediately after, his body was teleported out of the room. When Lin Feng reappeared, he was already in a dense primitive forest. He had yet to see his surroundings clearly. He saw a ball of shadow in the sky. Sharp claws quickly clawed at Lin Feng. The speed was so fast that it made one speechless. If it was anyone else, their head would have been crushed before they could even react. But Lin Feng's reaction was too fast. When the claws clawed at him, he slapped out with his palm. Bang! Both sides collided. Many white feathers floated down from the sky. The one who ambushed Lin Feng was a white bird. After exchanging a blow with Lin Feng, the bird knew that Lin Feng was not to be trifled with, so it turned into a ray of white light and quickly fled into the distance. Don't run! Lin Feng shouted and quickly chased after it. Chapter 1687. Lin Feng quickly chased after it. Even though the white ferocious bird was extremely fast, Lin Feng was even faster. He gradually caught up with the white ferocious bird. After catching up, Lin Feng finally saw what species the white bird was. It was a type of bird that Lin Feng had never seen before. Its entire body was covered in snow-white feathers. It had the body of an eagle, the claws of a roc, the eyes of a peacock, and the beak of a red-crowned crane. It looked extremely strange. F***CK! What kind of strange bird is this? Lin Feng shouted. When the white bird heard Lin Feng call it a strange bird, it immediately shouted in dissatisfaction. You're the strange bird. I'm one of the 4 holy birds. Lin Feng had never heard of any of the 4 holy birds before. He grinned and said, I think you should be called a freak instead. You're the freak. Your whole family is freaks. The 4 holy birds shouted fiercely. What a cheap mouth. When I catch you later, I'll pluck all your feathers and roast you. The taste should be pretty good. Lin Feng shouted fiercely. Ah? You want to roast me? Brat! I'm going to barbecue you later and make a human barbecue! The four holy birds shouted, unwilling to be outdone. Lin Feng increased his speed and quickly caught up to the four holy birds. He threw a punch at them, but the four holy birds opened their beaks and spat out dense purple lightning. The purple lightning all shot towards Lin Feng. The four holy birds had long since been prepared and had been waiting for Lin Feng to come over. When they saw Lin Feng coming over, they immediately launched a powerful attack, wanting to defeat Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he used void travel to dodge the four holy birds' attacks. The four holy birds' cultivation was not ordinary, and they should be in the divine flame realm. However, that level of strength was nothing in front of Lin Feng. Seeing Lin Feng disappear without a trace, the four holy birds shouted, "This is bad! He must have met an expert!" The four holy birds pushed their speed to the limit, wanting to escape. However, at that moment, Lin Feng arrived above them and stomped on their backs. Feathers flew everywhere. The four holy birds cried out in pain. Then they fell into the forest. Lin Feng also landed in the forest. "It hurts! You're trying to kill me!" The four holy birds cried out. Lin Feng curled his lips. "That's right! I'm going to kill you right now!" The four holy birds cried out in fear. "No! Spare me! As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything you want me to do! F***ck. You have no backbone! I haven't even made a move yet!" Lin Feng was speechless when he saw the four holy birds lying on the ground, trembling. The four holy birds said, "Life is precious, and we only have one life. We have to cherish it. Dignity is not worth mentioning in front of life. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "It's not impossible for you to live, but you have to show me what benefits I can get by keeping you alive. Young master, this little one was born and raised in this world, and I know many things that others don't. If you let me be your guide, I guarantee that you'll make a fortune." The four holy birds said flatteringly, "Oh? Born and raised in this world?" Lin Feng was delighted. "What treasures do you know? Tell me." 500 kilometers from here, there's a treasure called the soul-splitting grass. It can help a cultivator form a new primordial spirit. The four holy birds said. Lin Feng said indifferently, "I've already formed a second primordial spirit, so ordinary treasures that can transform the primordial spirit won't have any effect on me. Also, if I rashly consume it, it will harm my soul origin." Lin Feng had used the crimson blood lotus to transform his second primordial spirit. After his second primordial spirit had transformed, it had given Lin Feng double the power of his soul. It had also given Lin Feng the ability to do two things at once. In theory, a cultivator's soul could continuously transform into a new primordial spirit. However, this was only a theory. Transforming into a primordial spirit required a treasure. It required natural treasures, and natural treasures that could transform one's primordial spirit were extremely rare. Furthermore, each transformation of the primordial spirit was more difficult than the last. Thus, after one transformation, many treasures that could transform the primordial spirit were unable to support a second transformation. Moreover, the transformation of the primordial spirit was very dangerous. If the transformation failed, it would often cause damage to the soul. Therefore, Lin Feng was not particularly interested in the spirit-splitting grass that the four holy birds had mentioned. Of course, if possible, Lin Feng still planned to find this spirit herb. If he took it out to auction, it could be sold for an astonishing price. At this moment, the four holy birds said, "Young master, you may not know this, but the spirit-splitting grass is different from other treasures. Treasures that can transform the primordial spirit, such as the crimson blood lotus and the primordial spirit vine, only have 1/10 of the medicinal efficacy of the spirit-splitting grass. These treasures naturally cannot support the second transformation of the primordial spirit, but the spirit-splitting grass is different. Its medicinal efficacy is fierce and can completely support the third transformation of the primordial spirit. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. If what the four holy birds said was true, then he had to obtain the spirit-splitting grass no matter what. As long as he could obtain the spirit-hunting grass and transform his third primordial spirit, then Lin Feng would be able to do three things at once. Under normal circumstances, cultivators could only use one divine ability at a time. However, Lin Feng could now use two divine abilities at once. If he could use three divine abilities at once, he could use three divine abilities at once. This was an advantage. It was a crushing advantage. All right. Take me to find the spirit-splitting grass, Lin Feng said. The four holy birds' eyes flashed with a strange light, and they said flatteringly, "No problem. This little one will lead the way for young master right now." Lin Feng sneered. The four holy birds were obviously up to no good. They probably wanted to trick him. Lin Feng could sense the deep killing intent hidden within the four holy birds. He said indifferently, "Before I leave, there is one more thing I need to do." The four holy birds asked, "What is it, young master?" "Open your soul and let me place a soul imprint on it. You will become my mount. I will also be able to rest assured and let you bring me to find the spirit-splitting grass," Lin Feng said indifferently. The four holy birds' expression changed greatly. They had originally planned to lure Lin Feng to a dangerous place and kill Lin Feng. But now, Lin Feng wanted them to recognize him as their master. If that was the case, wouldn't they lose their freedom? "All right, I will recognize you as my master." The four holy birds nodded. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, their wings flapped. Wind blades swept towards Lin Feng like a storm. The four holy birds were only 4 or 5 meters away from Lin Feng. They were so close that they had suddenly launched a sneak attack on Lin Feng. They wanted to catch Lin Feng off guard. The four holy birds had clearly planned this all along. They had said that they wanted to recognize Lin Feng as their master in order to make Lin Feng let down his guard. Then, they would be able to launch a sneak attack on Lin Feng. "Brat! Go to hell!" The four holy birds let out strange cries as they looked coldly at Lin Feng. In their opinion, if they attacked at such a close distance, Lin Feng would definitely die. Chapter 1688. Lin Feng sneered. "Fourth sacred bird! You idiot! Did you think I didn't guard against you?" Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, a distorted black hole appeared above Lin Feng's right hand. It was the black hole formed by the devouring martial soul. A powerful devouring force appeared. It was emitted from the black hole. Then, it crazily devoured the wind blades that the fourth sacred bird sent out with its wings. Whoosh! When the fourth sacred bird saw its attack being devoured by Lin Feng's black hole, it turned around and continued fleeing. "Humph!" said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. He opened his hand and a magnetic field condensed in the air. The enormous confinement magnetic field enveloped the four holy birds. Suddenly, the fourth sacred bird found it difficult to move. The fourth sacred bird trembled in fear and loudly begged for mercy. "Young master, please spare my life. It's all a misunderstanding. I was worried that you would be bored, so I played a little game with you. Please don't be angry." Lin Feng was speechless. He had seen thick-skinned people before. However, he had never seen one as thick-skinned as the fourth sacred bird. It could even say such shameless words. Lin Feng sneered at the fourth sacred bird and said, "I gave you a chance, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Since that's the case, I can only kill you and have a good meal." The fourth sacred bird trembled in fear and continued to beg for mercy. "Young master! My death is not worth regretting. However, I really do know many secrets. I will definitely bring you to find more treasures. I only ask that you give me another chance." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. The fourth sacred bird said that it knew many secrets, and Lin Feng did not doubt it. Kill it. It was indeed a pity. Thinking about that, Lin Feng said, "Since you're sincere, I'll give you one last chance. Open your soul, I'm going to imprint it on your soul. The fourth sacred bird obediently opened its soul this time. Lin Feng imprinted the souls of the four holy birds. Greetings, Master! The fourth sacred bird flapped its wings and bowed to Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and jumped onto the back of the four holy birds. The four holy birds' bodies were over 10 meters long, and their feathers were soft. It was very comfortable to lie on them. Let's go! Let's go to the place where the spirit-splitting grass is, Lin Feng said. Yes, the four sacred birds responded. Then, they spread their wings and soared into the sky, flying toward the depths of the forest. At that moment, the four divine birds said, Owner, I've already told you everything. The spirit-cracking grass is guarded by a 1,000-eyed devil crocodile. That guy is not easy to deal with. Lin Feng didn't find it strange that such a precious heavenly treasure like the spirit-splitting grass was guarded by a powerful vicious beast. He said, Let's go over and check out the situation first. Along the way, Lin Feng saw many life-and-death battles in the forest. There were cultivators fighting against wild beasts and cultivators killing each other for treasures. Lin Feng asked, Apart from the soul-cracked grass, are there any other treasures around? If we're talking about treasures, then the monkey wine is the most precious. Monkey wine? What is this? Lin Feng asked curiously. In the depths of the forest, there's a group of six-eared macaques. Those six-eared macaques brew monkey wine. This wine is brewed with more than 3,000 precious heavenly treasures. If an ordinary person drinks a mouthful of it, their body will be greatly improved, and they will immediately turn from trash to a cultivation genius. Even deity realm cultivators like us who drink monkey wine can adjust our bodies, remove the impurities in our bodies, and help us temper our bodies. The less impurities there are in our bodies, the easier it is for us to communicate with the heavens and earth. The four sacred birds had an infatuated expression. It was obvious that they yearned for the monkey wine. Lin Feng suddenly became very interested in the monkey wine. When people ate grains, impurities would accumulate in their bodies, but some impurities were difficult to remove. The impurities in the body hindered one's cultivation speed. Perhaps he could use the monkey wine to temper his body. It was just as the four sacred birds said. The less impurities there were in one's body, the faster one's cultivation speed. Of course, there was another point. The less impurities there were in one's body, the easier it was for one to communicate with the heavens and earth. The easier it was for one to comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth. What was Tao? Tao was a kind of law, produced by the purest source of the world. Therefore, the cleaner one's body was, the easier it was for them to communicate with the Tao of heaven and earth. For example, if Lin Feng's body was tempered by the monkey wine, he might be able to immediately comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth contained in the deity stone of the Snow Clan. Let's find the spirit-splitting grass first, then the monkey wine, Lin Feng said. Yes, Master. The four sacred birds sped up. On the way, Lin Feng met a group of people. There were men and women, about 30 of them. There were a few divine flame realm cultivators among them. They should be from large factions. Lin Feng noticed that there were 3 particularly beautiful women in the group. One of them was wearing a purple dress and was tall and slender. The second woman was wearing a pink dress and was more delicate than a flower. The third woman was wearing a red outfit and had flaming red lips. She looked quite seductive. When the woman in red saw that Lin Feng was looking at them, she glared at him ferociously. What are you looking at? You've never seen a beauty before. If you keep looking, I'll dig your eyeballs out. Tigress, Lin Feng muttered in his heart. Then he said, I'm looking at a beauty, not at you. When the woman in red heard Lin Feng's words, she immediately gnashed her teeth in anger. Looking at a beauty, not looking at her? Didn't that mean that she wasn't a beauty? The beauty in red took out a whip and rushed towards Lin Feng. Ha 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 ha, stinking bitch, go buy a beauty pill with a lot of money. Otherwise, who would want you when you're so ugly and have such a bad temper? Seeing the beauty in red rushing over, Lin Feng immediately laughed out loud. Bastard, I'm going to kill you! The beauty shouted angrily. The 4 sacred birds cried out. Ugly, monkey but ugly mouth is like a monkey butt. The beauty in red had fiery red lips, so she was actually very alluring. However, he was mocked by the 4 sacred birds into a monkey butt. How could he endure this anger? Right now, the beauty with fiery red lips was gnashing her teeth in hatred towards Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds. However, the 4 sacred birds were too fast. Before she could pounce over, the 4 sacred birds had already carried Lin Feng into the distance. He left the beauty far behind. Bastard, don't run if you have the guts. You're not a man. The beauty with fiery red lips cursed fiercely. I'm a good man who doesn't fight with women, lest they say that I'm a man who bullies women. Lin Feng shouted in front, and then the 4 sacred birds carried Lin Feng and disappeared in the blink of an eye. One day later, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds arrived at the place the 4 sacred birds had mentioned. This place was filled with swamps and poisonous gas. The spirit-splitting grass grew in the depths of the swamp. Chapter 1689. It's said that someone found soul-splitting grass inside. That's a treasure that can create a nascent soul. However, it's being guarded by a 1,000-eyed devil crocodile, so it'll be difficult to deal with. At that moment, a group of cultivators flew over from afar. They stopped above the forest, and one of them spoke. When Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds saw that some people were coming, they hid in the distance and listened to their conversation. 1,000-eyed devil crocodile is a powerful beast. I don't think we're a match for it, right? A purple-robed cultivator said. I have a powerful treasure here called the 9 Netherworld Godly Iron Needle. If we work together, we'll definitely be able to kill the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile. A middle-aged scholarly cultivator said. It's said that the 9 Netherworld Godly Iron Needle was forged from the 9 Netherworld realms' mystical demonic iron. I didn't expect this treasure to fall into your hands. Since we already have it, there's no time to lose. Let's go kill that beast now. Alright, let's go. A group of more than 30 cultivators quickly headed towards the depths of the swamp. Lin Feng rode on the 4 sacred birds and followed behind them. He wanted to see how the group of cultivators would deal with the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile. As the name suggested, the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile's strength lay in its 1,000 demonic eyes. The eyes of the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile could create endless illusions. If one's mind was weak, they would get lost in them. The most terrifying thing was that the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile was not only capable of creating illusions, but it was also a beast with the bloodline of a divine beast. Therefore, its strength was extremely terrifying. Even without creating illusions, it would be extremely difficult to deal with the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile, not to mention that it could create terrifying illusions. Therefore, the first few groups of cultivators died one after another. Soon, the group arrived at the depths of the swamp. There was a mountain range here that consisted of more than 10 peaks. The soul-splitting grass grew at the top of the main peak. The soul-splitting grass was wrapped in a ball of divine light, so it was easy to find. Haha! That's the soul-splitting grass. Let's go and collect the soul-splitting grass. More than 30 cultivators rushed towards the soul-splitting grass. Just as they arrived at the periphery of the mountain range. Pooh! Pooh! Suddenly, seals were activated one after another. When the 2 cultivators at the front made contact with the restrictive arrays, their bodies were pierced through. Blood dripped everywhere. Incomparably miserable. His body fell directly into the swamp. Clearly, he had died killed by the restrictive spell. When the others saw this scene, their expressions changed greatly. He hurriedly retreated. Roar! Suddenly, a sky-shaking roar rang out and a massive crocodile emerged from the swamp. In one gulp, it devoured the 2 dead cultivators. At the same time, its mountain-like tail smashed towards the group of cultivators. It was as if Mount Tai was pressing down on him. Such power was truly terrifying to the extreme. Be careful. Many people cried out in horror as they dodged the attacks of the 1,000-eyed demon crocodile. However, there were still 7 or 8 people who were too slow to dodge and were struck by the 1,000-eyed devil crocodile. Crack! Crack! His body crumbled. He was whipped to death by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile's tail. Damn it! Let's kill this thousand-eyed demon crocodile. The middle-aged scholarly cultivator shouted angrily. He flipped his right hand and a treasure appeared in his right hand. This treasure was a magic treasure that looked like an embroidery needle. It should be the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The person who made this treasure must be a genius to be able to make such a small treasure. Of course, it was also possible that he was lacking in materials and could only make it so big. Although this treasure was small, its power was extraordinary. The 20 or so cultivators who were lucky enough to survive activated the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The 9 Serenity's divine iron needle turned into a cold black light and flew towards the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Thousand-eyed demon crocodile! The thousand-eyed demon crocodile let out a series of roars. Suddenly, the surrounding area turned into a world of darkness. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile disappeared. In this world of darkness, chains of order swept towards the 20 or so cultivators. A terrifying power that could destroy heaven and earth surged out from the chains of order. The 20 or so cultivators were shocked and wanted to use their divine abilities to resist. The middle-aged scholarly cultivator shouted, "Everyone! Don't be fooled by the illusion. This is an illusion created by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. If we resist the illusory chains of order, we will be attacked by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Now, follow me and activate the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. Break the illusion." The middle-aged scholarly cultivator's shout was like pouring wisdom into one's head. It gave the rest of the cultivators, who were originally panicking, a jolt of energy. They quickly cooperated with the middle-aged scholarly cultivator. Powerful magic power flowed continuously into the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. The 9 Serenity's divine iron needle was indeed a powerful treasure. It actually broke the illusion created by the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Then, the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle quickly flew in front of the thousand-eyed demon crocodile and pierced one of its eyes. Roar, 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 roar. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile let out a pained cry. One of its eyes was instantly blinded. The 20 or so cultivators were invigorated. They continued to control the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle to attack the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. Puff! Puff! The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's eyes were continuously blinded. As for the thousand-eyed demon crocodile, it screamed again and again as it suffered great damage. As the saying went, there was always something to subdue another. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile was completely restrained by the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. Its eyes were continuously blinded. Before long, more than 30 of its eyes had been blinded by the 9 Serenity's divine iron needle. If this continued, all of its eyes would definitely be blinded. At that time, it would definitely be a dead end. The group of cultivators couldn't help but look happy. They seemed to have seen hope of killing the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. But at that moment, the thousand-eyed demon crocodile roared. "You lowly existences, you have thoroughly angered me. I will make you pay with your lives." As soon as the thousand-eyed demon crocodile finished speaking, it opened its bloody mouth and spat out a strong poison that filled the sky. "We've already taken the antidote. The strong poison has no effect on us." The group of cultivators sneered. But soon, they were shocked to find that their bodies had begun to rot. "Stupid creatures, my most powerful technique is the strong poison essence in my body. Even a god would have to retreat in the face of my strong poison essence, let alone you." The thousand-eyed demon crocodile sneered. "How can this be?" The group of cultivators looked at their rotting bodies in horror, but there was nothing they could do. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 people had been poisoned to death. One by one, the corpses fell from the sky. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's cold eyes looked at the corpses, then rushed over and swallowed them all. Suddenly, the thousand-eyed demon crocodile seemed to sense something. Its cold eyes looked at the main peak of the mountain where the soul-splitting grass grew. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile saw a scene that infuriated it. A human cultivator had taken advantage of the fact that it was fighting with a group of cultivators to break the seal protecting the soul-splitting grass and dig it out. Chapter 1690. The person who broke the restriction and dug out the spirit-splitting grass was naturally Lin Feng. Just now, he saw the thousand-eyed demon crocodile fighting with a group of cultivators, so he took advantage of this opportunity to make a move. If he missed this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it would not be easy to snatch the spirit-splitting grass from the thousand-eyed demon crocodile. This was because the thousand-eyed demon crocodile was too strong. "Human! You're courting death!" The thousand-eyed demon crocodile roared angrily, its eyes filled with endless killing intent. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile raised its huge claws and pressed down on the void. Buzz! Immediately after, a mountain-like energy claw condensed in the sky. That energy claw. It descended from the sky. It was as if it could suppress the world. Its power was unimaginably terrifying, causing Lin Feng to feel a chill down his spine. This thousand-eyed demon crocodile's cultivation was indeed terrifying. "It's over! It's over!" The four sacred birds were trembling in fear. Facing the thousand-eyed demon crocodile's attack, the four sacred birds did not even have the courage to resist. "What a powerful thousand-eyed demon crocodile!" Lin Feng was shocked. This thousand-eyed demon crocodile's cultivation had definitely reached the true god realm, and it was even a high-level true god. Of course, Lin Feng did not plan to fight to the death with this thousand-eyed demon crocodile. In any case, his goal was to obtain the spirit-splitting grass. Since he had already obtained the treasure, the best choice was to escape. Lin Feng's powerful magic power surged out of his body and wrapped around the four sacred birds. Then, he used the heaven-patching technique. Shwa! A light flashed. Lin Feng and the four sacred birds had already disappeared without a trace. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's attack hit empty air. In the next moment, Lin Feng and the four sacred birds appeared 10 miles away. The four sacred birds cried out, "Master, you're so strong! I admire you so much!" Lin Feng kicked the four sacred birds away. "Are you a girl? If you're not a girl, don't disgust me." The four holy birds spread their wings and called out, "What kind of woman does Master want? This lowly one will capture her for Master to enjoy." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. What kind of person did this damn bird think he was? He was handsome and kind, how could he do such a heartless thing? Rumble! In the distance, a loud explosion shook the heavens. The thousand-eyed demon crocodile's huge body shot into the sky and chased after Lin Feng and the four sacred birds. Lin Feng sat on the back of the four sacred birds and said, "If we can't get rid of the thousand-eyed devil crocodile from such a long distance, then we'll be too weak." The four holy birds immediately called out, "Hee, don't worry, Master. Even though I'm not a match for the thousand-eyed demon crocodile, my speed is definitely superior to that of 1,000 years of hunger." Whoosh! The four holy birds transformed into a streak of white light and flew into the distance. Soon, they disappeared into the horizon. From the depths of the swamp, the furious roar of the thousand-eyed demon crocodile could be heard. "Find a safe place. I want to refine the spirit-splitting grass," Lin Feng said. "Then let's go to my nest," the four holy birds said. Lin Feng nodded. The four holy birds whistled and flew towards their nest as fast as lightning. One day later, the four holy birds brought Lin Feng to their nest. The nest of the four holy birds was in a mountain range. Vicious beasts ran rampant in this mountain range, making it extremely dangerous. Even cultivators didn't dare to rashly set foot in this place. The four holy birds flew into a huge cave. "Huh! This is an ancient cultivator's cave?" Lin Feng looked at the cave in astonishment. There was a stone bed, a stone table, a stone chair, and other things inside. There was also a spirit spring inside the cave. Even now, spring water was continuously flowing out of the spirit spring. The four holy birds said, "Master, I obtained an opportunity from this cave, and that's how my cultivation increased." What was originally in this cavern? Lin Feng asked. There were a lot of precious divine pills, but I ate them all, said Lin Feng. The four holy birds said embarrassedly. This is your good fortune, Lin Feng said. He paused for a moment, then continued. Was there anything else? There were some miscellaneous items, but they weren't very valuable, so I threw them all out. The four holy birds said. What about the cave's owner? Lin Feng asked. The four holy birds said. I didn't see the corpse of the cave's owner, and the cave was very messy at the time. He seemed to have left in a hurry, and didn't have time to pack up some things before leaving. Lin Feng scratched his chin and said, Maybe it's because something urgent happened. He then found a place, sat down cross-legged, and took out the soul-splitting grass. The soul-splitting grass emitted waves of divine light. It contained a shocking amount of energy. Lin Feng ate the soul-splitting grass and began to use the archaic dragon-esque elephant art to refine the soul-splitting grass. The soul-splitting grass was gradually refined into the purest medicinal energy. Lin Feng's soul then began to absorb the soul-splitting grass medicinal energy. As the soul-splitting grass medicinal energy was absorbed by his soul, suddenly, Lin Feng felt it. Lin Feng felt as if someone had used a sword to split him in the middle in the most barbaric and violent way. This pain. It was simply unbearable. However, Lin Feng's willpower was too strong. No matter what kind of pain it was, he could endure it. Time passed. 3 days later. Lin Feng, who had been tortured to the point of hovering between life and death, finally calmed down. If it was an ordinary person who had been tortured for such a long time, their mind would have long collapsed. They simply couldn't withstand the medicinal energy of the soul-splitting grass. But Lin Feng's willpower was extremely strong and he was able to withstand it. At this moment, his third primordial spirit began to split. This lasted for about 7 days. Lin Feng's third primordial spirit finally split successfully. Although his face was a little pale, his mood was incomparably happy. He raised his right hand, and suddenly, 3 energy balls appeared in his right hand. The first energy ball sealed the Emperor technique, 9 slashes of the Demon Emperor. The second energy ball contained the four-armed Sacred Demon Fist, an Emperor technique. The third energy ball sealed the Emperor technique, 10,000 Demon Reincarnation Fist. This was the so-called 3 uses 1 mind. His heart stirred. He could condense 3 sacred arts at the same time to fight against his enemies. It was as if there were 2 Lin Fengs who looked exactly the same. Anyone who fought against Lin Feng would be like fighting against 3 Lin Feng. Congratulations, Master, on forming a third primordial spirit! The 4 sacred birds hurriedly congratulated Lin Feng. Lin Feng said with a smile, Not bad! Not bad! This time, you also contributed to the transformation of the third primordial spirit. However, I heard that a cultivator's soul can transform into a maximum of 9 primordial spirits. I just don't know if this rumor is true, the 4 sacred birds said. The number of heaven and earth is 9, so this saying is still reasonable. However, it is too difficult to find a heavenly treasure that can allow the primordial spirit to continue transforming. That's right. Lin Feng nodded. He rested for a day. Lin Feng recovered to his original state. He and the 4 sacred birds went to the mountain where the 6-eared macaque was. When they passed by a lake, an earth-shaking roar could be heard. From afar, Lin Feng saw a group of cultivators attacking a winged silverback dragon. Chapter 1691. The winged silverback dragon was about 100 meters long. Its body was covered in black scales, but its back was covered in silver-white scales, hence its name. This dragon belonged to the Western dragon race. It looked like an oversized lizard. Now that the winged silverback dragon was surrounded by a group of people, it was clearly on the verge of collapse. The people attacking the winged silverback dragon were none other than the group of young cultivators that Lin Feng had seen before. The 3 beauties had left a deep impression on him. Furthermore, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds had teased the beauty with blazing red lips, causing her to grit her teeth in anger. This group of people was not weak, and all kinds of powerful magic treasures were flying in the sky. From their equipment, one could tell that they were not ordinary people. However, there were too many factions in the 9 prefectures. They were as numerous as the hairs on an ox. Powerful factions could be seen everywhere. One had to know that the Tianwu continent was only one of the prefectures in the 9 prefectures world. The Tianwu continent already had so many factions, not to mention the 8 prefectures in the 9 prefectures world. As for how many factions there were, no one knew. Lin Feng guessed that this group of people did not come from the 10 great immortal sects. Judging from the divine abilities they were using, they were not the top divine abilities of the 10 great immortal sects. Therefore, Lin Feng guessed that these people should be disciples of aristocratic families. The thing that the winged silverback dragon was guarding should not be simple. Since this winged silverback dragon lived in the lake, Lin Feng guessed that there might be a cave abode under the lake. This was, of course, a possibility. He shouted from afar, "Do you need help? There is strength in numbers. I am not a greedy person. After this matter is done, I will take 30% of the treasures, and you will take 70%. How about it?" When the group heard Lin Feng's words, they rolled their eyes. They looked at each other and muttered in their hearts, "This guy wants to take 30% of the treasures? Why is he so shameless? Moreover, we can deal with the winged silverback dragon alone. We don't need help from outsiders." At this moment, everyone suddenly realized that Lin Feng was a little familiar. Soon, they remembered Lin Feng. Wasn't this the strange combination of a man and a bird? "Kid! It's you! Don't run!" When Flaming Hot Lips saw Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds, she didn't even care about the winged silverback dragon. She quickly flew towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng shouted, "You should help them deal with the double-winged silverback dragon. I'm not in the mood to fight with you. White Bird, let's go." White Bird was what Lin Feng called the 4 sacred birds. Of course, the 4 holy birds didn't like this nickname. Thus, upon hearing the words White Bird, the 4 holy birds began to roll their eyes. The 4 holy birds spread their wings, and their speed was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, they had rushed into the distance. The woman with blazing hot lips wasn't fast enough to catch up with the 4 holy birds, so she angrily returned and madly attacked the winged silverback dragon to vent her anger. Half a day later, the 4 holy birds brought Lin Feng to the mountain where the 6-eared macaque lived. The 6-eared macaque was a very powerful spirit beast. This type of spirit beast was extremely intelligent, and was best at imitating various abilities. It was said that the 6-eared macaque only needed to watch someone use a divine ability a few times. It could imitate it on its own. This kind of ability was heaven-defying. But the most shocking thing was still, the 6-eared macaque could imitate a divine ability. Its power was about the same as the other party's divine ability. Although it sounded unbelievable, the 6-eared macaque really did have this kind of heaven-defying ability. Perhaps this was a special ability that the heavens had bestowed upon the 6-eared macaque. Others couldn't be envious of it. The 4 holy birds and Lin Feng carefully entered the mountain. The 4 holy birds pointed at a valley and said in a low voice, "That's where the 6-eared macaques live. There are about 100 of them, but they're very strong. The monkey wine is in their cave, so there must be a 6-eared macaque guarding it. It'll be very difficult to get the monkey wine." Lin Feng nodded. It really wasn't easy to get the monkey wine. "Hey, there's someone here!" He raised an eyebrow. Although the other party had deliberately concealed their aura, Lin Feng still sensed it. The 4 holy birds whispered, "It seems that someone is still eyeing the monkey wine." "Yes." Lin Feng nodded. It was very normal for someone to be eyeing the monkey wine. "Ha ha ha, the monkey wine, the merfolk want it." At that moment, loud laughter came from the distance. A dozen merfolk flew over, led by 2 merfolk from the Purple Scale clan. They were the royal family of the merfolk. It was no wonder that they were so unbridled. The merfolk had always been arrogant. Moreover, there were also merfolk from the Purple Scale clan here. It was unknown how the 9 States Alliance had negotiated with the merfolk in the past. These merfolk had dared to come to Jiuzhou. Thinking about it, It was clear that the merfolk race must have paid a huge price back then. Otherwise, they would not have been able to survive. If the merfolk had dared to come to Jojo, the Nine States Alliance wouldn't have let them go. Ha ha ha! My tribe is also very interested in the monkey wine! Loud laughter came. Then, more than 20 people flew out of the forest. This group of people was the group that Lin Feng had sensed. These 20 or so people were also experts. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly narrowed. There was an old man in this group that he recognized. Previously, in the overseas world, there was a disciple of a large clan called Young Master Chong, who saw Bibi and Dragon Rabbit playing. He had evil thoughts and wanted to capture Bibi and Dragon Rabbit. The two little fellows fled in a sorry state. Dragon Rabbit was injured and almost died. This Young Master Chong and his subordinates were all killed by the furious Lin Feng. Before killing Young Master Chong, a true god expert appeared. That old man even threatened Lin Feng. He told Lin Feng to release Young Master Chong. However, Lin Feng didn't care and killed Young Master Chong. Then, he quickly fled. That true god expert chased Lin Feng for a long time, but he couldn't catch up to Lin Feng. In the end, Lin Feng successfully escaped. Among this group of people, there was that true god realm old fellow. The Northern Barbarian States Dong clan! Clearly, the mermaid cultivators recognized these people and couldn't help but raise their eyebrows. Ha ha ha, how lively! My Chu clan is also interested in joining in the fun this time. Laughter rang out, and then another group of experts arrived. There were about 30 people in this group, and the leader was a tall and sturdy middle-aged cultivator. The Northern Barbarian States Chu clan! TSK TSK! 2 of the 10 great clans of the Northern Barbarian State are here today. A mermaid from the purple-scaled clan sneered. Lin Feng's heart shook. He suddenly thought of Chu Wentian from the Tianwu continent. Back then, the Tianmo rebellion. After his battle with Mose Tianzuan, he and Mose Tianzuan had been swept into the space-time reversal and arrived in the banished world. At that time, Chu Wentian had come from the 9 prefectures and established the Heaven-Seeking City and the Heaven-Seeking Army. He ruled over the 72 prefectures that Mose Tianzuan had originally occupied. Chu Wentian was the young master of the Chu clan of the Northern Barbarian State. Not only was he strong, but he was also outstanding. Chapter 1692. Everyone, let's do it. As for how much monkey wine you can get, that will depend on your own abilities. A merman from the Purple Scale clan said. The elites from the Northern Barbarian States Dong clan and Chu clan had no objections. Whoosh! Whoosh! The elites from the 3 forces flew into the depths of the valley. Leave immediately! Otherwise, we'll kill you! A cold voice came from the valley. Hundreds of 6-eared macaques rushed out of the cave, looking coldly at the uninvited guests. These 6-eared macaques were not particularly tall. It was only about 1 meter tall. Their bodies were covered in black fur, and they emitted a ferocious aura. We're here for the monkey wine. We have no intention of becoming enemies with the 6-eared macaques. If you hand over the monkey wine to us, we'll leave immediately. The leader of the Dong clan said. How dare you covet my clan's treasure? All of you deserve to die. The Monkey King said coldly. Ignorant of the times. Attack! A merman from the Purple Scale clan laughed coldly. Boom! A huge battle broke out. The Black Scale clan, the Northern Barbarian States Dong clan, and the Northern Barbarian States Chu clan. There were more than 70 elites from the 3 forces combined. Although they had fewer people than the 6-eared macaques, they had more people. However, the elites from the 3 forces had powerful treasures. They could rely on their treasures to suppress them. Bang! 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 All sorts of powerful divine abilities were used, colliding in the air. The 2 sides were caught in a chaotic battle. The 6-eared macaques were extremely powerful. All sorts of divine abilities were thrown at the elites from the 3 forces. Lin Feng had thought that the 6-eared macaque's ability to mimic divine abilities was just a rumor. Now, he knew that it was true. Many of the six-eared macaques were mimicking the divine abilities of the three forces. Poof! Poof! Blood was spilled in this battle. Some six-eared macaques were killed. Some cultivators from the three forces were also killed. Go get the monkey wine! The higher-ups of the three forces shouted. Some of the cultivators from the three forces immediately rushed toward the cave. They went to get the monkey wine. The others tried their best to delay the frenzied macaques. You wait here. I'll go get the monkey wine, Lin Feng said. Yes, Master. The four holy birds nodded. Lin Feng, on the other hand, stealthily moved towards the cave. Right now, the two sides were locked in a fierce battle. He couldn't use his divine will to seal the void. This gave Lin Feng the opportunity to sneak into the cave. As long as these people did not use their spiritual will to seal the void, he could sneak into the cave through the void. Sure enough, just as Lin Feng expected, after he used the void travel spirit art, he successfully deceived everyone. They entered the cave. When they entered the cave, they saw that there was a huge battle going on inside. There were a dozen six-eared macaques in the cave. Clearly, these six-eared macaques had been left behind to guard the monkey wine. At that moment, the six-eared macaques were engaged in a fierce battle with 7 or 8 elites from the three factions. Both sides of the fierce battle were stunned when they saw Lin Feng, an uninvited guest. Damn! So many people! The corner of Lin Feng's mouth twitched. He said, You guys continue fighting. I'm going to get something. Once I'm done, I'll leave. Then, he rushed towards the pool of monkey wine. Kid! Do you have a death wish? The cultivators from the three factions looked at Lin Feng angrily, their eyes filled with killing intent. They had worked hard to kill these six-eared macaques. Whether or not they could get the monkey wine was still uncertain. Lin Feng wanted to take advantage of them. How could the experts from the three factions let such a thing happen? The six-eared macaques were also filled with killing intent. Anyone who dared to covet the monkey wine would be hated by them. Moreover, the fierce battle seemed to have a tacit understanding. They stopped at the same time. Then, they all charged towards Lin Feng. Clearly, the two sides had reached an agreement to get rid of Lin Feng first. All kinds of attacks came at him. Lin Feng quickly took out the Death God armor to protect himself. Bang! However, these people were too powerful when they joined forces. The terrifying attacks sent Lin Feng flying. Even with the Death God armor, Lin Feng had the impression that many of his bones had been broken. Damn, I'm so unlucky. Who can be worse than me when I'm surrounded? Lin Feng wanted to cry but had no tears. The six-eared macaques and the experts from the three factions were still preparing new attacks. Lin Feng naturally knew that if he fought against such a group of strong cultivators, he would definitely die. There was no way he could fight this battle. Kid! Die! Many people from the three factions laughed coldly, as if they could already see Lin Feng being killed. Damn it! Do you think I'm a sick cat if I don't show my power? Today, I'll show you how strong I am! Lin Feng looked at the experts from the three factions and the six-eared macaques with a dark expression. He began to circulate his qi. Boom! The next moment, Lin Feng's body, his purple qi was released. In an instant, it enveloped the entire cave. Bang! 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 Following that, the experts from the three major forces and the powerful six-eared macaques fell to the ground one after another. They couldn't even put up the slightest bit of resistance. They couldn't withstand the purple qi released by Lin Feng's body and fainted. After releasing the purple qi, Lin Feng felt an endless sense of weakness wash over him. Bibi! Lin Feng transmitted to the little guy. Bibi heard Lin Feng's call and flew out of the mountain river ring. Ya! Ya! Seeing Lin Feng's pale face, the little guy cried out anxiously. Hurry up and take the monkey wine and get me out of here! Lin Feng said. Bei nodded his little head and waved his little paw. A rainbow divine light enveloped the pool of monkey wine, and Bibi put it into the mountain river ring. Then, Bibi wrapped Lin Feng in its rainbow divine light. He used void warp, entered a parallel space, and left without a sound. This was Bibi's racial talent. After coming out, the battle between the three factions and the six-eared macaques was still very intense. It was the same situation as when Lin Feng came in. These people didn't have the energy to seal the void with their divine will. So, they didn't notice Lin Feng and Bibi. After meeting up with the four sacred birds, Lin Feng lay on the back of the four sacred birds. He hugged Bibi with both hands. The four sacred birds turned into a ray of white light and rushed into the distance. The six-eared macaques and the cultivators of the three factions who were fighting found that there was no movement in the cave for a long time and felt very strange. So, they all rushed into the cave. Then, an angry roar came from within the cave. Who is it? Who took away the monkey wine? The cultivators of the three factions were filled with murderous intent. They had planned for a long time. But in the end, it was all for naught. This made them extremely angry. They wanted to tear the person who took the monkey wine into 1,000 pieces. Chapter 1693. All the treasures in the world belonged to those who were fated to obtain them. This was the cruel world of cultivators. In order to survive, they had to do their best to snatch treasures, consolidate their Tao fruits, and increase their cultivation. In this world of cannibalism, there was no mercy. There was only the law of the jungle. Lin Feng wanted to become stronger. He had far too many things to do, such as searching for his captured clansmen, rescuing his mother. Thus, no matter how great the danger, he had to do his utmost to seize all sorts of natural treasures and opportunities to increase his strength. Ya! Bibi lay beside Lin Feng and used its little claws to scratch Lin Feng's hair. From time to time, it would also use its little claws to scratch Lin Feng's face. Big brother is very tired. Don't mess around. Lin Feng rubbed Bibi's head. In Lin Feng's eyes, this little guy was not a spirit beast or a pet, but a family member. Just like his little brother. Ya! Bibi called out a few times, then lay in Lin Feng's arms. With a wave of its little claws, a spirit fruit appeared in its hand, and then it began to eat it out of boredom. Master! Should we go back to my place now? Or go somewhere else? The four sacred birds asked. Go back to your place, Lin Feng said. The four sacred birds sped up. Soon, they returned to the cave. After resting for 3 days, Lin Feng's body had completely recovered. Then, he summoned Bibi, the dragon rabbit, the dark green mantis, and the scorpion king. Lin Feng filled the pool of monkey wine into wine jars. Then, he took out dozens of jars of monkey wine. Drink! Drink as much as you can, Lin Feng said. This was not the first time Bibi had drunk wine. After seeing the monkey wine, its big watery eyes lit up. Immediately after, the little guy directly hugged a wine jar that was filled with monkey wine, and then began to gulp it down. Dragon Rabbit also learned from Bibi and picked up the wine jar to drink. Hee, monkey wine, good stuff! The four holy birds let out 2 strange cries and also began to shout. Then, the dark green mantis scorpion king also hugged a wine jar and started drinking. Wine but no meat! What kind of regret is that? Lin Feng couldn't help but shout. Then, he took out the frozen saber-toothed dragon meat and began to roast it. After the barbecued meat was done, the aroma of the meat wafted out. Everyone ate meat and drank wine. Dozens of jars of monkey wine were consumed. Bibi drank 3 jugs. Dragon Rabbit drank 2 jars. The dark green mantis scorpion king drank 2 jars. The cultivation of the 4 holy birds was relatively high, so they drank 10 jars. As for Lin Feng, he drank a total of 35 jars of monkey wine. The effect of the monkey wine began to take effect. Lin Feng felt as if there was a ball of fire burning in his body. He felt as if his body was about to be ignited. Immediately after, Lin Feng's body began to expel many dark red impurities that emitted a fishy smell. This was the dirty blood that had accumulated in his body from the many battles that could not be removed and the impurities that were difficult to refine. Now, under the effect of the monkey wine, it began to be constantly expelled from his body. Bibi, dragon rabbit, the 4 holy birds, and the dark green mantis scorpion king were the same. His body began to expel a large amount of impurities that contained dirty blood. Soon, Lin Feng felt his stomach growl. He quickly flew out and landed in the forest. He took off his pants and began to defecate. These were the impurities that could not be expelled through the pores of his body. After relieving himself, he felt refreshed. Moreover, Lin Feng felt that with just a thought, he seemed to be able to communicate with heaven and earth. He could sense the various Taoists of heaven and earth. After a large amount of impurities are expelled from my body, my connection with heaven and earth has become even closer. Lin Feng revealed a look of joy. His body was compatible with the great Tao of heaven and earth. This was helpful for comprehending the Tao. It was helpful for cultivation. In the future, Lin Feng's cultivation speed would only become faster and faster. It smells so bad. Looking at the blood on his body, Lin Feng couldn't help but want to vomit. Bibi, dragon rabbit, the 4 holy birds, and the dark green mantis scorpion king were also relieving themselves in the forest like Lin Feng. Now, the impurities that had accumulated in their bodies had been expelled. They all felt refreshed, but there was too much blood on their bodies. Bibi loved cleanliness, and kept using its little claws to clean the blood on its body. However, the more it did, the dirtier it became. There's a big river not far away. Let's go wash up, the 4 holy birds said. Okay, lead the way, Lin Feng said. The 4 holy birds nodded and soared into the sky. Everyone followed behind the 4 holy birds. Soon they arrived at the river. Then they all jumped into the river to wash the blood off their bodies. After washing up, they returned to the 4 holy birds' nest. Lin Feng planned to go into seclusion for a few days before continuing to look for other opportunities. 2 days later, at night, a group of cultivators flew over from afar, looking for a place to rest. Lin Feng sealed the cave of the 4 holy birds with a restriction. He didn't choose to show himself because he didn't want to cause unnecessary trouble. More than 10 cultivators were resting on a platform about 100 meters away from the cave of the 4 holy birds. At that moment, a cultivator said, I wonder if the news about the dragon crystal rice is true? I hope the news we received is true. The rest of the people were also looking forward to it. Another person said, If we can really obtain the dragon crystal rice, it will be our good fortune. These people didn't talk much about the dragon crystal rice. Soon, they found a place to rest. However, Lin Feng heard their short conversation. He had heard of the dragon crystal rice before. It was said that it was the food of the dragon clan's royal family, the True Dragon Clan. Why was the True Dragon Clan so powerful? It was inseparable from eating the dragon crystal rice. The dragon crystal rice was a supreme treasure. After eating it, one's cultivation would definitely increase greatly. Lin Feng had thought that the dragon crystal rice had long become something that only appeared in legends. It was only today that he found out that the dragon crystal rice actually existed in this world. The 4 holy birds said, Master, dragon crystal rice has actually appeared. This is the food of the True Dragon Clan. Back then, even the divine dragon, sky dragon, and other powerful divine beasts were not qualified to eat it. If we can obtain the dragon crystal rice, it would be a great opportunity. Lin Feng nodded and said, Follow these people tomorrow and see where they go. The next day, a group of people set off. Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds followed behind this group of people. This group of cultivators flew towards the northwest. Finally, they arrived at the depths of an ancient forest. There were 9 huge dragon veins gathered together here. It was like 9 true dragons baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. Cultivators continued to arrive. Obviously, many of them had received news of the dragon crystal rice here. Rumble. A loud sound was heard. A huge ancient ship flew over from the distance. After seeing the ancient ship, Lin Feng immediately revealed a shocked expression. Chapter 1694. The Pirate Ship of the Gods. Lin Feng was naturally very familiar with this pirate ship. This was the Empress's pirate ship. Now, after the Empress came to the Jiuzhou continent from the Tianwu continent, she seemed to have stopped being a pirate. Even the pirate flag on the gods' pirate ship had been removed by the Empress. The Empress was the Martial Heaven continent's #1 beauty. She was innately seductive, and even the simplest of movements was enough to captivate a person. Whether it was a man or a woman, they were unable to resist her charms. "I wonder where Feng Yarao is now?" Lin Feng couldn't help but scratch his chin. Back then, the 9 great pirate kings had set off for the 9 prefectures. Since the Empress had appeared, it was obvious that Feng Yarao had also come to the 9 prefectures. Lin Feng somewhat missed Feng Yarao, this vixen. Suddenly, the sound of Tao could be heard from afar. More than 10 experts flew over. "They're from the Tao Profound sect!" someone exclaimed. The origin of this Tao Profound sect was also extremely extraordinary. This force came from the Northern Barbarian State. The Northern Barbarian State was the state closest to the Icy Plains world. Strictly speaking, the Ice Field world was a part of the Northern Barbarian province. It was just that the climate of the Icy Plains was too harsh and unsuitable for survival. Other than the Snow Clan and the Ice Clan, there were no other powers in the Ice Field. There were so many different forces in the Northern Barbarian State. Among these forces, there was also a strict hierarchy. The most powerful sect was the Reincarnation Celestial Sect, one of the top 10 celestial sects. They had passed down the ancient and mysterious Reincarnation Celestial Sutra. In the past, several great emperors had personally visited them to borrow the Reincarnation Celestial Sutra. Below the Reincarnation Immortal Sect were the 5 sects, 9 clans, 10 races, and 36 ancient kingdoms. These 5 sects were the Tao Profound Sect, the Northern Mang Sect, the Sun Moon Sect, the Heaven Vein Sect, and the Demon Vanquishing Sect. The 9 gates were made up of the Evil Tao and the Devil Tao. Among the evil sects, there were the Evil Goose Sect, Imperial Beast Sect, 5 Venoms Sect, and Corpse Control Sect. Among the Devil Tao forces, there were the Saint Devil Sect, Profound Hell Sect, Myriad Sect, Blood Emperor Sect, and Wenxiang Sect. Among them, the Gu Evil Sect in the Tianwu continent, which was the sect that Wu Qingqing belonged to, was a branch of the Gu Evil Sect in the Jiuzhou continent. The Saint Devil Palace of the Sky Martial continent was a branch of the Saint Devil Sect of the 9 continents. The relationship between Lin Feng and the Holy Maiden of the Demonic Saint Palace was extremely ambiguous. Of course, it was the witch. This little girl was pestering Lin Feng, insisting on being Lin Feng's wife. However, Lin Feng hadn't seen Guan Guan for many years. He didn't know how Guan Guan was doing now. The top 10 clans were Dong Clan, Chu Clan, Wang Clan, Sun Clan, Li Clan, Qin Clan, Zhao Clan, Dongfang Clan, Murong Clan, and Shimin Clan. The 36 ancient countries included the Shang-Zhou Ancient Country, the Spring and Autumn Ancient Country, the War God Ancient Country, the Xianhan Empire, and so on. These were the top forces. Below them, there were all kinds of clans, dynasties, empires, sects, and so on. There were simply too many to count. Furthermore, as the Tianwu continent and the Jiuzhou continent were connected, the Tianwu continent and the Jiuzhou continent were connected. Countless cultivators from outside the realm would also flood into the 9 states continent. That was because the 9 prefectures continent and the Tianwu continent combined to form the 9 prefectures major world. It was one of the top 7 major worlds of the 3,000 major worlds. The 9 prefectures major world was the center of the 532 star fields. In the surrounding 532 star fields, countless stars revolved around the 9 prefectures major world. As the center of the star field world, the 9 prefectures major world was naturally a place that countless people yearned for. So it could be foreseen. Not long after, there would be even more cultivators descending from the outer realm to the Tianwu continent. Then they would cross the sea from the Tianwu continent to the 9 prefectures continent. At that time, the heroes would fight for supremacy, and the kings would fight for supremacy. Who knew what kind of bloody storm would occur? After the experts of the Dao Profound sect arrived, very quickly, the Northern Mang sect, Five Poison sect, Corpse Control sect, Dong clan, Chu clan, Chin clan, Zhao clan, Spring and Autumn Ancient Country, War God Ancient Country, and other top forces all sent their cultivators over. The attraction of the dragon crystal rice was too great. That was why it attracted countless cultivators. "Looks like there will be a fierce battle," the four sacred birds said. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Many experts want to obtain the dragon crystal rice. This is interesting. Let's see whose methods are better." Rumble. At this time, the restriction that enveloped the mountain range began to emit loud sounds. Everyone's spirits were suddenly shaken. The restriction on the mountain range was about to dissipate. At this time, the Empress walked out of the Brahma pirate ship. She then put away the god's pirate ship. "Heavens, there's actually such a beautiful woman in this world!" When the Empress appeared, countless people exclaimed in surprise, and their eyes burned with passion as they looked at her. The Empress was as tall as ever, and her figure was simply the most perfect golden ratio. She had the best appearance in the world. Her temperament was charming and alluring. The Empress smiled tenderly and said, "Am I beautiful?" "Beautiful. Too beautiful." Many people's eyes were shining. Even the experts of the top forces were unable to take their eyes off the Empress's body. This was one of the Empress's most powerful techniques. Her every move exuded a shocking charm that could charm all living things. "Do you like me?" the Empress continued asking. "Yes. We like you." Countless people shouted excitedly. "Later, let me be the first to enter the mountain range. Do you agree?" The Empress smiled tenderly, looking extremely charming. "Yes. We are willing." Countless people shouted. Even if the Empress asked them to die, there would probably be many people who would choose to die without hesitation. This was the Empress's charm. She could make countless people willingly do anything for her. "This woman is getting more and more terrifying," Lin Feng muttered to himself. There were some people in the crowd who weren't affected by the Empress's charm, but such people could be counted on one hand. They were either people with strong willpower like Lin Feng, or people who had severed their 7 emotions and 6 desires. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Following 3 earth-shaking explosions, the restriction on the mountain range finally dissipated. The Empress smiled tenderly and said, "I'll be the first to enter. Stand guard outside and don't let anyone disturb me, okay? If anyone disturbs me, help me kill them. Is that all right?" "We're happy to help," countless cultivators shouted. The Empress smiled tenderly as she flew into the mountain range. "Damn, this is too ruthless." Lin Feng smiled bitterly. He didn't dare to act rashly now because there were too many cultivators who had been charmed by the Empress. If he barged into the mountain range, he would definitely be attacked. At that time, he would definitely die. As for the cultivators who hadn't been charmed by the Empress, their expressions were gloomy. However, they could only continue to wait for these cultivators to return to normal. Only then could they enter the mountain range to search for dragon crystal rice. Chapter 1695. What's wrong with me? It wasn't until an hour later that everyone came back to their senses one after another. The bewitched cultivators all had confused expressions on their faces, not knowing what was going on. Asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk when Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds saw that the group of people had woken up, they quickly flew towards the mountain range. Some of the cultivators who hadn't been charmed by the Empress also rushed into the mountain range. "The restriction has disappeared. Let's go find the dragon crystal rice," many people exclaimed. They rushed to the mountain range. Looking for the dragon crystal rice, it was a mountain range. If there were 1,000 locks on the door, there must be a noble living here. After entering the mountain range, Lin Feng used the dragon searching formula he had learned from Taoist Wu Liang. He used it to search for the dragon crystal rice. Relying on his senses, he went deep into the mountain range and entered a huge cave residence. However, he didn't find anything here. The Empress seems to have disappeared. Lin Feng frowned. Underground. He soon sensed something. Then, Lin Feng used the Earth Tao of the Great Five Elements technique and the Earth Tao of the Great Five Elements technique. The four sacred birds controlled the power of earth, fire, water, and lightning. They could also use the Earth Escape technique. Therefore, they followed Lin Feng underground. It's not up there. The dragon crystal rice must be buried underground, a cultivator said. Let's enter the underground world. Many cultivators shouted. Then, these cultivators entered the underground world. When breaking through to the Yin-Yang realm, there was a realm called the Five Elements realm. It was the Five Elements technique of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Therefore, for cultivators, the Earth Escape technique was one of the simplest escape techniques. Everyone knew how to use it. Everyone entered the underground world and traveled through it. Although there were thousands of different kinds of Earth Escape techniques, some were strong and some were weak, they all had one thing in common. It didn't matter if it was a strong Earth Escape technique or a weak one. They could ensure that cultivators could travel freely underground. The earth element formed by the Earth Escape technique would separate the soil, sand, and stones. This was the wonder of the earth element technique. After reaching about 10,000 meters underground, Lin Feng suddenly stopped. Master, what is it? The four holy birds asked in confusion. Run! Lin Feng shouted. He ran off into the distance. The four holy birds knew that Lin Feng must have found something scary, so they followed Lin Feng without hesitation. Rumble! At this moment, the ground began to collapse. A huge and pitch-black underground abyss appeared. Waves of terrifying devouring power could be felt. From the collapsed abyss, they surged out. Many cultivators who had dived into the ground were swept up by the powerful devouring force. It was hard to resist. One by one, they fell into the abyss. This is no! Soon, the cultivators who fell into the abyss screamed in terror. Soon after, the voices disappeared. Those cultivators had clearly died miserably in the underground abyss. What is it? Many cultivators did not dare to approach the underground abyss. They watched from afar, their faces full of fear. Right at this moment, black fog filled the sky. Soon after, densely packed zombies rushed out of the abyss. Zombies were very strange creatures. One could say that they were evil spirits, but they had a powerful physical body. One could say that they were living beings, but they did not have a real soul. Only an evil thought controlled their bodies. They were between evil spirits and living beings. They were terrifying existences formed from the corpses of dead cultivators after countless years of transformation. This was not the first time Lin Feng had seen zombies. However, this was the first time he had seen so many zombies. There were so many of them that he did not know how many there were. Moreover, these zombies were abnormally powerful. The more powerful they were when they were alive. After death, they would transform into zombies. The zombies they turned into were even more powerful. These zombies were so powerful that they must have been peerless experts when they were alive. Hurry up and run! Seeing so many zombies charging over, the surrounding cultivators were almost scared out of their wits. One by one, they screamed in fear. Then, they scattered in all directions. However, at this moment, the underground world was constantly collapsing. The area of the underground abyss was also constantly expanding. More and more zombies rushed out. Damn! How many people died here back then? Could it be a battlefield? Seeing the densely packed zombies below, Lin Feng could not help but feel his scalp go numb. Other than this explanation, he really could not think of any other. So many people had died. The key was, it was very difficult for zombies to transform. Even if it was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. To be able to transform into a few zombies was already quite heaven-defying. And the zombies here. They were densely packed and countless. They could even form an army of zombies. It was unknown how these zombies had transformed. Lin Feng held the black dragon sword in his hand and fought with a group of zombies. The most important thing now was to quickly break out of the encirclement, and escaped from the zombies' encirclement. Clang, clang, clang. The black dragon sword slashed onto the zombie's body, and actually let out a series of metallic sounds. The bodies of these zombies were simply too hard. Even a supreme treasure like the black dragon sword was unable to harm their bodies. From this, it could be seen how terrifying these zombies were. The surrounding battles were also extremely intense. People were constantly being killed, and the dead cultivators were completely eaten up by the zombies. Scared the hell out of me! Scared the hell out of me! The 4 sacred birds saw the corpses of the cultivators that had been eaten up by the zombies. They immediately screamed in fear. In the end, Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds were also separated. Puff! Puff! Even someone as powerful as Lin Feng's body was injured. The zombie's sharp claws had scratched his body, and the corpse poison had invaded his body. This corpse poison was different from ordinary poison. The corpse poison was even more terrifying. It was even more domineering. Offer your soul! Offer your soul! And when the corpse poison invaded his body, a sinister voice resounded in his mind. Lin Feng knew that it must be because he had been poisoned by the corpse poison that he was hallucinating. Ruler! Judgment! He roared out loud and used all his methods. Under the encirclement of the zombie army, he charged left and right and finally rushed out. Heaven Flame Refinement! Immediately after, he hurriedly circulated the heaven flame to refine the corpse poison in his body. The corpse poison was extremely terrifying. Even with the heaven flame, it was difficult to refine it. Fortunately, Lin Feng had also cultivated the Great Poison Technique. He used the Great Poison Technique and the heaven flame to refine the corpse poison in his body. Finally, the corpse poison was completely removed. Looking at the battle in the distance, Lin Feng could not help but feel a chill in his heart. This was simply a disaster. Countless cultivators had died tragically. Scared the hell out of me! Scared the hell out of me! The 4 sacred birds shouted. This guy's methods were extraordinary. He rushed out of the zombie army's encirclement, and then rushed to the surface. In the blink of an eye, he had disappeared without a trace. Lin Feng also rushed to the surface. This underground world was too dangerous. He could not stay here any longer. But just as he was about to leave, suddenly, a violent fluctuation came from afar. A small golden dragon drilled out of the ground and looked at the tragic battle between the zombie army and the cultivators in the distance. After seeing the small golden dragon, Lin Feng's eyes suddenly widened. He exclaimed in disbelief. Heavens, this is a small dragon formed by dragon crystal rice? Has this dragon crystal rice already become a spirit? Chapter 1696. Lin Feng did not find it strange that a treasure like the dragon crystal rice could produce intelligence. Therefore, he stared unblinkingly at the little golden dragon, wanting to confirm whether it was transformed from dragon crystal rice or not. It really is the dragon crystal rice that transformed into a small golden dragon. Soon, Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. He quickly charged towards the small golden dragon. The small golden dragon actually wagged its tail at Lin Feng provocatively, then quickly rushed towards the depths of the earth. The small golden dragon traveled through the earth unimpeded. However, it was not easy for it to shake off Lin Feng. Ordinary cultivators might not be able to catch up to the small golden dragon. However, Lin Feng cultivated an earth attribute divine ability that had evolved from the Great 5 Elements art. The Great 5 Elements art was a divine ability formed after Lin Feng's 5 Emperor's dragon fists reached perfection. The Great 5 Elements art contained the power of the basic 5 elements. The Great Tao of the 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, was the most powerful Great Tao of the 5 elements. Therefore, Lin Feng's earth attribute escape technique was executed. Its speed was even faster than the small golden dragon's speed. The small golden dragon was also extremely extraordinary. As it fled, it moved many huge rocks from its surroundings and smashed them towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng punched out, shattering the rocks with a single punch. After chasing for half an hour, They reached a depth of 20,000 meters before they caught up to the small golden dragon. Lin Feng threw a punch at the small golden dragon. A muffled bang was heard. The small golden dragon was sent flying by his punch. Then, the small golden dragon turned into a thumb-sized grain of dragon crystal rice. This grain of dragon crystal rice was completely golden, like a crystal. It was extremely beautiful. Lin Feng held the grain of dragon crystal rice in his hand and immediately felt a majestic energy being emitted from it. Dragon crystal rice was indeed a food that only true dragons could enjoy. Although there was only one grain, the energy it contained was unimaginable. In the absolute beginning era, everyone was like a dragon, the Black Bear Devil King suddenly said. Lin Feng asked in confusion. What do you mean? The Black Bear Devil Monarch continued. The absolute beginning era was the fifth great era after the creation of the world. And in that great era, dragon crystal rice appeared. At that time, the production of dragon crystal rice was very large. At that time, even ordinary people could eat dragon crystal rice. Those who ate dragon crystal rice for a long time, even if they were ordinary people, would have their cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds. They were even stronger than heavenly dragons and divine dragons. Lin Feng sucked in a breath of cold air. Heavenly dragons, divine dragons. These were existences that were second only to true dragons. In history, there had been more than one heavenly dragon supreme emperor and divine dragon supreme emperor. If eating dragon crystal rice could allow one to surpass heavenly dragons and divine dragons, that would be too heaven-defying. The Black Bear Devil King continued. However, the world changed, and the soil suitable for dragon crystal rice became fewer and fewer. Of course, at that time, dragon crystal rice wasn't called dragon crystal rice. As for what it was called, there are no records. However, it's said that the true dragon race improved dragon crystal rice, which is why dragon crystal rice didn't go extinct. After the true dragon race improved dragon crystal rice, the effects of the improved dragon crystal rice seemed to be even better than before. Lin Feng said. It's normal that they didn't share it. After improving dragon crystal rice, they probably wouldn't share it with others. I'll find a place to refine this dragon crystal rice and see what the effects are. Swoosh! Lin Feng traveled through the underground world. Not long after, he saw a huge rock. He opened up a shelter within the rock and used restrictions to conceal his figure before starting to refine the dragon crystal rice. It took about 6 hours. Lin Feng had successfully refined the dragon crystal rice. What shocked him was that his cultivation had increased. A single grain of dragon crystal rice had almost helped him break through to the 9th firmament of the Nihility God realm. Isn't this effect too shocking? If I can find a few dozen grains of dragon crystal rice, won't I be able to break through to the divine flame realm? Lin Feng's face was full of emotions. He continued to search for dragon crystal rice in the underground world. Searching for the dragon crystal rice was like looking at a mountain. If there were 1,000 locks on the door, there would definitely be nobles inside. Lin Feng continued to chant the dragon searching incantation. This incantation was used to locate dragon veins and search for treasures. It had many unimaginable effects. Using the dragon searching incantation to search for dragon crystal rice was the best method in the underground world. Relying on the dragon searching incantation's senses, he began to search the underground world. Not long after, he saw 3 small golden dragons traveling through the underground world. 3 small golden dragons. 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. I'm rich. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He carefully hid behind an underground rock, quietly waiting for the 3 small golden dragons to come over. Lin Feng completely concealed his aura. He even held his breath. He was afraid that he would alert the 3 small golden dragons. These small golden dragons were very cunning. Once they were alerted, if the 3 small golden dragons were to flee in different directions, then Lin Feng could only chase after 1 small golden dragon. At most, he would get 1 grain of dragon crystal rice. Now, Lin Feng wanted to hide and wait for the 3 small golden dragons to come over. Then, he would suddenly attack and catch them all in one fell swoop. The 3 small golden dragons didn't discover Lin Feng, who was hiding behind the huge rock. They flew over leisurely. When the 3 small golden dragons were about 20 meters away from Lin Feng activated the confinement magnetic field. He was worried that if he got any closer, the 3 small golden dragons would discover him and flee. After the confinement magnetic field was released, the 3 small golden dragons were imprisoned. Roar! The small golden dragons were intelligent. They suddenly swung their dragon tails and rays of golden light surged out. The 3 small golden dragons actually wanted to break free from the confinement of the confinement magnetic field and escape from the confinement magnetic field. Lin Feng's face suddenly changed. If he let the 3 small golden dragons escape, wouldn't it be like using a wicker basket to draw water? He hurriedly rushed over and threw a punch at the 3 small golden dragons. Bang! That tyrannical punch swept across the 3 small golden dragons. The 3 small golden dragons immediately turned into 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. Lin Feng put away the dragon crystal rice and was about to leave. Suddenly, figures flew over from afar. A total of more than 10 cultivators surrounded Lin Feng. Ha ha ha, I searched high and low for you, only to find you by chance. I didn't expect to see you here, little bastard. Eerie laughter rang out. The person who spoke was the Dong clan's true god expert. He was the old man who had appeared when Lin Feng killed Dong Chong overseas. Brat, hand over the dragon crystal rice and we'll give you a quick death. If you don't cooperate, we'll cut you into 1,000 pieces and make you suffer endless pain before you die. An expert of the Dong family looked at Lin Feng with a sinister gaze as if he was looking at a dead man. Chapter 1697. The Dong family had many experts, so they naturally did not put Lin Feng in their eyes. Moreover, they had a true immortal realm expert like Dong Zhuo on their side. When Lin Feng had first met Dong Zhuo, he had only been at the 5th level of the true immortal realm. Now, his aura was even more unfathomable. It seemed that he had made a breakthrough in his cultivation. Therefore, with such a powerful expert on their side, the Dong family cultivators were naturally full of confidence. However, it was obvious that they had underestimated Lin Feng. Faced with the threat of the Dong family cultivators, he said indifferently, "You bunch of trash are just mud that can't support a wall. I can stand here and crush you to death with one hand." Everyone in the Dong family was stunned. Then, these people became angry. In their eyes, Lin Feng was just a cultivator at the Void God realm. These Dong family cultivators did not put him in their eyes at all. So what if Dong Zhuo was not present? They could crush Lin Feng to death. Wasn't it as easy as crushing an ant? In the eyes of the Dong family cultivators, Lin Feng would definitely be scared half to death by them. But what about the reality? Lin Feng was so arrogant. He actually did not put them in his eyes. These people from the Dong family had always been high and mighty. How could they bear such humiliation? At this moment, the group of Dong family experts all had killing intent in their eyes. The Dong family cultivator who had just threatened Lin Feng was called Dong Quan. After hearing Lin Feng's extremely arrogant words, Dong Quan immediately laughed sinisterly. "Brat! You are really courting death. In this world, no one can save you. Later, we will let you taste the endless pain and torture in this world before we take your dog life." As soon as he finished speaking, Dong Quan jumped up and rushed towards Lin Feng. Dong Quan's cultivation was at the 5th level of the Divine Fire Realm. He was abnormally powerful. His right hand turned pitch black like ink. This was a powerful divine ability called the Netherworld Ghost Palm. It was an ultimate technique passed down by the Netherworld Emperor, and Dong Quan had obtained it. This could be considered an opportunity for Dong Quan. Relying on this Netherworld Ghost Palm, Dong Quan could even often challenge those of a higher level. Although Dong Quan was extremely disdainful of Lin Feng, he was still extremely cautious when it came to making a move. "Impudent fool, you dare attack me with your puny cultivation level?" Facing Dong Quan's attack, Lin Feng sneered. He didn't put Dong Quan in his eyes at all. Now, Lin Feng's opponent was a true divinity realm cultivator. Not a divine flame realm cultivator like Dong Quan. Lin Feng raised his right hand and unleashed a sky-splitting slash. A dazzling saber light condensed. The saber light vibrated slightly, and the void was instantly torn apart. This attack collided with Dong Quan's attack. Puchi! Then, a tearing sound could be heard. Lin Feng's attack was too powerful. First, it chopped off Dong Quan's right hand. Dong Quan let out an incomparably shrill scream. The next moment, Dong Quan's body was directly split in half by Lin Feng's saber light. This happened in the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint. Many people didn't even have time to react before Dong Quan was already killed. Little bastard, you're courting death! Seeing Dong Quan killed, Dong Shua's eyes instantly turned blood red, and he roared with incomparable anger. Dong Quan was nominally his nephew, his elder brother's third son. But in reality, Dong Quan's real identity was Dong Shua's son. Dong Zhua had an affair with his sister-in-law. She gave birth to Dong Quan. Even Dong Quan himself didn't know about this matter. Dong Quan was killed by Lin Feng. Dong Zhua wished he could eat Lin Feng's flesh and drink Lin Feng's blood. He blasted a palm towards Lin Feng, wanting to kill Lin Feng. Dong Zhua's cultivation level was profound, and he indeed had the strength to kill Lin Feng. If it was outside, it would be very dangerous to face an expert like Dong Zhua. But underground, Lin Feng wasn't afraid of Dong Zhua. Among the top inheritances of the Celestial Master Sect, there was a way to control the 9 veins of the earth. The 9 veins of the earth meant that one could draw on various terrains, such as the power of the dragon veins or the abyss, to fight an enemy. Lin Feng was more than 20,000 meters underground, and there were huge rocks everywhere. This was a characteristic of the underground world. The deeper one went, the more rocks there were. Lin Feng used the Celestial Master Sect's inheritance to control the power of the earth veins. Suddenly, the rocks in the underground world quickly gathered together to form huge stone dragons. A total of 18 stone dragons 1,000 meters long formed. Their roars shook the sky as they pounced on Dong Zhua and the group of Dong family cultivators. Lin Feng took this opportunity to quickly leave. Dong Zhua's cultivation level was too high, and the enemy outnumbered him. It was extremely unwise to stay and fight the Dong family experts to the death. Lin Feng was well aware of this. Bang! 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 The Dong family experts, including Dong Zhua, had to deal with the stone dragons formed by Lin Feng. In the end, they destroyed the 18 stone dragons, but Lin Feng had disappeared without a trace. Little bastard! I'll definitely tear you to shreds. Then I will pull out your soul and throw it into the boundless purgatory, so that you will never be reincarnated. Dong Zhua roared with hatred. Search! You must find that little bastard! Yes, my lord! The Dong family experts quickly spread out to search for Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng had already dived to a depth of 40,000 meters. He found a hidden place, sealed the surroundings with a restriction, and concealed his figure. Then, he began to refine the 3 grains of dragon crystal rice in seclusion. Time passed slowly. The 3 grains of dragon crystal rice were gradually refined. The fluctuations in Lin Feng's body became more and more intense. 10 hours later, Lin Feng had completely refined the 3 grains of dragon crystal rice. The magic power in his body had been refined by the energy of the dragon crystal rice, becoming purer and purer. Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. The magic power in Lin Feng's body was like a torrential river, surging rapidly in his body. This was the great heavenly cycle. After the magic power in his body had completed 36 great heavenly cycles, Lin Feng finally broke through. He had broken through from level 8 Empty God Realm to level 9 Empty God Realm. Ha ha ha, I finally broke through. Feeling the powerful magic power surging in his body, Lin Feng's face revealed a smile. Boom! At this time, Lin Feng felt a shocking energy fluctuation coming from afar. There are still people so deep underground? He was slightly surprised. He came out of seclusion and flew towards the source of the energy fluctuation. After flying for about 10 miles, Lin Feng saw the battle. The Empress. Lin Feng was shocked. The Empress was the first person to enter the mountain range to search for dragon crystal rice. She was extremely enchanting and charming. Her beauty was suffocating. Chapter 1698. The Empress's opponent wasn't a cultivator. Instead, it was a pitch-black scorpion. The scorpion was about 10 meters long and had a huge barb on its tail. The barb was shining with a blue luster. It was obvious that it was highly toxic. That poisonous scorpion was very powerful and moved as fast as lightning. Hence, the Empress did not dare to be careless. The reason why they were fighting was because they were fighting over 10 grains of dragon crystal rice. That is... Suddenly, Lin Feng saw a cultivator hiding in the dark in the distance. He was slowly approaching the Empress. At this moment, the Empress was fighting with the poisonous scorpion. Hence, she did not notice the cultivator who was sneaking toward her. That cultivator was shrouded in a black robe. Although he had concealed his aura, Lin Feng could still sense a cold and terrifying evil aura from him. Is he from the Gu Xie sect? Or the Five Venoms sect? Or someone from the school of imperial beasts? Looking at the cultivator shrouded in a black robe, Lin Feng could not help but feel puzzled. That cultivator was obviously a demonic cultivator. Furthermore, Lin Feng guessed that it was the terrifying poisonous scorpion that was fighting the Empress. It should be the poisonous pet that the cultivator was controlling. To be able to control such a powerful poisonous scorpion, he should be from a top-tier demonic sect. The Gu Xie sect was good at rearing all kinds of poisonous beasts to cultivate poisonous insects. The Imperial Beast sect was good at controlling all kinds of ferocious beasts to fight against enemies. Among these ferocious beasts, there were also some that were highly poisonous. For example, poisonous scorpions and poisonous crocodiles were huge poisonous beasts. Needless to say, the Five Venoms sect was good at refining all kinds of strange poisons. This sect had even opened up many poisonous mountains. In these poisonous mountains, there were countless poisonous insects and beasts. These poisonous insects and beasts were made to kill and devour each other. Using this cruel method, they cultivated the most poisonous insects and beasts. Hence, that man in black was probably from one of these 3 sections. As for which sect he was from, Lin Feng could not make a judgment. Seeing that the man in black wanted to sneak an attack on the Empress, Lin Feng decided to take action. After all, he and the Empress were old acquaintances. How could he watch the Empress suffer and not do anything? Moreover, Lin Feng was a man who had tender feelings for the fairer sex. He couldn't bear to see a peerless beauty like the Empress perish. Red powder turned into a skeleton. What a heart-wrenching thing it was. Before making his move, Lin Feng first brought out the Death God armor. The Death God armor wrapped around him tightly. Although Lin Feng had cultivated the great poison art and many poisons were unable to harm him, Lin Feng was still able to use the great poison technique. However, that evil cultivator who wanted to sneak attack the great Empress might have some incomparably terrifying poison in his hands. If he fell for this person's trap, then he would be in deep trouble. It was rumored that a great emperor had been poisoned to death in the past. Clearly, these evil cultivators were extremely terrifying. They had a lot of tricks up their sleeves. In order to kill their opponents, they would stop at nothing. Poison was one of their favorite sinister tricks. Lin Feng naturally had to be fully prepared. Caution is the parent of safety. The world of cultivators was so cruel. Only by being cautious could one live longer. Whoosh! That evil cultivator leaped out and charged towards the great Empress. Keek keek die! He let out a sinister laugh. The great Empress was fighting with Poison Scorpion. At this moment, when she heard the voice behind her, her beautiful face suddenly changed. She felt an aura of death enveloping her body. Now that she wanted to escape, it was already too late. Ha ha! Great Empress, long time no see! Lin Feng laughed loudly, stepped out of the void, and swept a fist towards the cultivator who attacked the Great Empress. When the Great Empress saw Lin Feng, she couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. With Lin Feng's help, he stopped that evil cultivator. She was finally safe. Then, the Great Empress smiled and said, "So it's Lin Gongzi. Lin Gongzi is really my close friend. When he saw that I was in danger, he came to save me. I'm so touched that I can't wait to repay him with my body." Bang! Lin Feng and the evil cultivator collided, and he forced the evil cultivator to retreat. Then, he said, "Forget it, I won't fall for your tricks. You can't charm me." The Great Empress said pitifully, "I'm speaking the truth. You're about to die, yet you still dare to flirt in front of me. Today, I'll let the two of you die together." The evil cultivator sneered. Then, he took out a porcelain bottle and opened the cork. A cloud of dark green gas floated out. Seeing that the evil cultivator was full of confidence, Lin Feng knew that it was the dark green gas. It was definitely a terrifying poison that was unimaginably strong. Seeing that the poison was sweeping towards him, Lin Feng took out his heavenly fire. The heavenly fire burned fiercely, enveloping the poison and beginning to burn the poison that the evil cultivator had taken out. Chi 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 chi, the poison burned rapidly, emitting black smoke. However, what made Lin Feng feel like collapsing was that this poison was very strange. Although a part of it was burned by the heavenly fire, most of it passed through the heavenly fire and swept towards Lin Feng and the Great Empress. F***CK. What kind of poison is this? Lin Feng felt his scalp go numb. Keek, this poison is refined from the corpse poison of a quasi-emperor cultivator. It was refined with more than 3,000 poisonous insects. Not to mention you, even a heavenly god expert would be poisoned to death. The evil cultivator exclaimed proudly. Shameless bastard, you can't beat us, so you use poison. I despise you, Lin Feng scolded. The evil cultivator's mouth twitched violently, then he said coldly, I'm an evil cultivator, so what's so strange about using poison? Besides, when cultivators fight, the most important thing is to see who has the last laugh. Who cares what method you use to kill your opponent? The Great Empress said coldly. Then you're too happy. Although your poison is powerful, what if it can't be used on us? The Great Empress's hands kept forming seals. Whoosh! She used a divine ability. Once this divine ability was used, suddenly an illusory world appeared. That illusory world was actually a space-time reversal outside the realm. The space-time reversal was an unknown and terrifying world. It was dark, cold, and raging with space-time storms. There was only despair and death there. My divine ability is called the Great Banishing Technique. Today, I'll let you know how powerful it is, the Great Empress said indifferently. Once she used the Great Banishing Technique, the power of banishment surged out and enveloped the evil cultivator's poison. The evil cultivator's poison was immediately banished into the space-time reversal. Then, the power of banishment enveloped the evil cultivator. The Great Empress wanted to banish the evil cultivator into the space-time reversal. However, the evil cultivator was very strong, and he dispelled the power of banishment that enveloped his body. Then, he quickly retreated. His cold eyes looked coldly at Lin Feng and the Great Empress, then he left with his poisonous scorpion. Chapter 1699. The evil cultivator knew that it would be difficult for him to defeat Lin Feng and the Empress alone, so he chose to leave. Lin Feng and the Empress did not chase after him either. This evil cultivator was good at using poison and had a powerful treasure on him. He was not easy to deal with. They did not want to force this evil cultivator into a dead end. If this evil cultivator decided to fight to the death, it would not be worth it. Lin Feng waved his hand and took 10 grains of dragon crystal rice. He then smiled and said, We'll split these 10 grains of dragon crystal rice equally. Do you have any objections? The Empress nodded and said, Of course not. If young master wants to take all of them, I have no objections either. The Empress's words were so alluring that it seeped into his bones. Lin Feng felt like he was floating. I can't be charmed by this woman. I can't be charmed by this woman. Lin Feng was secretly on guard. He turned to look at the Empress and said helplessly, We can be considered old acquaintances, so please don't use your charms on me, okay? If you continue like this, we won't be able to have a pleasant conversation. The Empress smiled and said, I didn't use any charms on young master. I'm just naturally charming. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. It was just as the Empress had said. She was naturally charming. Her every action and even her every word. She could charm anyone. There were not many men who could resist the Empress's charms. Lin Feng said, I won't take advantage of you either. 5 grains of dragon crystal rice each. This is mine, and this is yours. Lin Feng took 5 grains of dragon crystal rice. He then handed the other 5 grains to the Empress. After the Empress accepted the grains, she smiled and said, Are you interested in working with me again? I know a place with more than 40 grains of dragon crystal rice. Lin Feng said in surprise, You didn't collect that much dragon crystal rice? It seems like that place is very dangerous. A terrifying stone race has been nurtured there. Without help, I don't dare to take the risk, the Empress said. Stone race. Lin Feng's expression became serious. The stone race was the most terrifying race, and their cultivation was heaven-defying. Very few cultivators dared to provoke the stone race. If they really provoked the stone race, it would be no different from courting death. However, those who were brave would starve to death. Thus, Lin Feng to take the risk. He said, Before we go, we should find a place to refine the dragon crystal rice. The Empress nodded and said, Follow me, I know a good place. The Empress was leading the way and Lin Feng was following behind her. Admiring the Empress's figure from behind, it was really beautiful. The Empress turned her head and looked at Lin Feng in a seductive way. Prince, are you admiring my body? Asked Lin Feng shyly. To not to say to not to not to. To yum. Since the Empress had already seen through him, Lin Feng might as well admit it. He nodded and said, Yes, such a perfect body. Shouldn't a man admire it? The Empress licked her lips flirtatiously and said, If young master likes me, I will definitely fly to you like a moth to a flame. I like you very much too. Lin Feng muttered to himself. He didn't know if the Empress was being serious or just teasing him. This woman was unfathomable. He reached out and wrapped his arm around the Empress's waist, smiled, and said, If you have feelings for me, then I have feelings for you. Let's have an in-depth conversation today. The Empress giggled and gently stepped away from Lin Feng. She smiled and said, I like to forget about each other. That is the highest level of intimacy between men and women. Lin Feng said, It seems like we aren't on the same path. I don't like to forget about each other. I like to do it on a mountain. The Empress charmingly rolled her eyes at Lin Feng and said, Forget about each other can also be done on a mountain, but that depends on whether young master has the ability to do it. It wasn't a problem for him to talk dirty with the Empress, but it was impossible for him to take advantage of her. Along the way, it was quite interesting for him to tease the Empress. After a short time, Lin Feng followed the Empress to the place she had told him about. This place was 50,000 meters underground. The Empress opened a temporary cave for cultivation in the middle of a 100-meter-tall boulder. After Lin Feng and the Empress entered, the Empress sealed the entrance with a restriction. The two then found a place to refine the dragon crystal rice. The dragon crystal rice had a significant effect on one's cultivation. Previously, Lin Feng had only refined 4 grains of dragon crystal rice to break through from Nihility God Stage 8 to Nihility God Stage 9. This showed how amazing the effects of the dragon crystal rice were. Now that Lin Feng had obtained 5 grains of dragon crystal rice, he was naturally looking forward to how much these 5 grains of dragon crystal rice could increase his cultivation. Lin Feng started to refine the dragon crystal rice. As time went by, the dragon crystal rice was gradually refined by Lin Feng. The pure energy of the dragon crystal rice was completely absorbed by Lin Feng. This pure energy could be used to refine one's magic power. It could make one's magic power purer. The transformation of one's cultivation was actually the transformation of one's magic power. When one's magic power reached a certain level of purity, it would complete the transformation. The transformation of one's magic power would increase one's cultivation. This time, after refining 5 grains of dragon crystal rice, Lin Feng's cultivation did not break through. This was normal. After all, he was going to break through from Nihility God Stage 9 to Nihility God Stage 10. The amount of dragon crystal rice consumed would greatly increase. However, even though he did not break through, Lin Feng's cultivation had reached the peak of Nihility God Stage 9. He was only a step away from breaking through to Nihility God Stage 10. At this time, the Empress had also refined 5 grains of dragon crystal rice. From her surprised expression, one could tell that she had obtained great benefits. She might have even broken through. Lin Feng asked, "Are you interested in exchanging divine abilities?" The Empress asked with interest. "You want to exchange for my great banishing technique?" TSK, not only are you beautiful, but you're also smart. You actually guessed what I wanted to say," Lin Feng praised. The Empress smiled. "Of course. No one can compare to my beauty, and my intelligence is also unparalleled." The Empress was proud, and her pride came from her bones. Of course, she had the right to be proud. She was beautiful and smart, so no matter what she said, no one would find it strange. Lin Feng said, "You can state your conditions." The Empress said, "I want your great calamity technique." Lin Feng nodded. "No problem." He took out a jade tube and sealed all the information regarding the great calamity technique inside. He then said, "The cultivation method for the great calamity technique, as well as some of my understanding of the great calamity technique, have all been sealed in this jade tube." What a straightforward person. The Empress took out a jade tube and handed it to Lin Feng. Lin Feng held the jade tube and used his divine sense to sense it. Then, he revealed a look of joy. The jade tube contained the complete cultivation method for the great banishing technique, one of the 3,000 great das. Chapter 1700. The great banishing technique was a powerful divine ability, and it was one of the 3,000 great das. Now, he had finally obtained it. Lin Feng was naturally overjoyed. The Empress, who had obtained the great disaster technique from Lin Feng, was also very happy. The two of them decided to comprehend the new divine ability before leaving. If there was anything they didn't understand, they could ask the other party for guidance. It took about 3 days. During these 3 days, Lin Feng and the Empress talked a lot and discussed a lot. Lin Feng's gains were huge, and so was the Empress's. Both of them had successfully comprehended the divine abilities they had obtained. After that, Lin Feng and the Empress left and headed to the place the Empress had mentioned. Halfway there, they discovered that 2 groups of cultivators were engaged in a fierce battle. These people were fighting over dragon crystal rice. There were a total of 14 grains of dragon crystal rice, and they were all being restrained. The 2 groups of cultivators were fighting to the death, and one of them was actually from the Dong family. It was Dong Zhuo's group. Enemies were bound to meet. Lin Feng didn't expect to meet the Dong family again so soon. "You know them?" Seeing Lin Feng's cold expression, the Empress's heart skipped a beat, and she asked softly. The Empress was indeed smart. She also knew how to read people's expressions. Lin Feng said, "The side with the upper hand is the Dong family, one of the top 10 families in the northern barbarian state. I have some personal grudges with this family." The Empress asked, "You want to snatch those grains of dragon crystal rice?" Lin Feng said, "I plan to, but I need to see if there's a chance. The old man leading the Dong family is at least at the 6th firmament of the true God realm. If we act rashly, we might die without a burial ground. So, we need to be careful." The Empress nodded and said, "Then let's observe for a while and see if there's a good chance to act." The strength of the group of cultivators fighting with the Dong family was also quite impressive. However, the True God stage expert on their side was only at the 5th heavenly layer of the True God stage. After being injured by Dong Shuo, his battle strength was greatly reduced. The people of the Dong family probably wanted to kill all of the cultivators, so they didn't intend to let them go. Originally, there were more than 20 cultivators in the group, but it didn't take long for more than 10 of them to be killed. Only 7 people remained. Dong Shuo! You old dog! Even if we die in your hands today, in the future, my fellow disciples from the Shang-Qian sect will definitely avenge us. That True God Stage 5 cultivator looked at Dong Shuo with eyes filled with hatred. Lin Feng had never heard of the Shang-Qian sect. However, he reckoned that it was a powerful sect. However, he reckoned that there was still a gap between it and the Dong family. Lin Feng was actually quite puzzled. Even if Dong Zhuo wanted to snatch the dragon crystal rice, there was no need for him to kill everyone from the Haiqian sect, right? If someone managed to escape and this news was leaked, they would have completely offended a major power. At this moment, Dong Zhuo sneered and said, Tang Ming! You have a Great Void Ancient Talisman left behind by the Great Void Emperor. You think that no one knows about this, but you don't know that when you obtained the Great Void Ancient Talisman, I was watching from afar. However, at that time, my cultivation was inferior to yours, so I didn't have the ability to kill you and take the Great Void Ancient Talisman. But now, my cultivation has surpassed yours, so I can kill you. In this underground world, even if I kill you, as long as I take care of the aftermath, no one from the Shang-Qian sect will know about it. When I obtain the Great Void Ancient Talisman, I can comprehend the secrets of the Great Void Ancient Talisman and find the legacy of the Great Void Emperor. If I really obtain it, I might even be able to break through to the Great Void Emperor in the future. After Dong Shuo finished speaking, he launched an even more ferocious attack. The cultivators from the Dong family also cooperated with Dong Shuo to besiege the 7 surviving cultivators from the Shang-Qian sect. No wonder Dong Shuo wanted to kill Tang Ming and the others. It turns out that Tang Ming actually obtained a treasure left behind by a great emperor. Lin Feng couldn't help but think, Pooh! Pooh! Under the frenzied attacks of the Dong family experts, another 2 cultivators from the Shang-Qian sect were killed. Only 5 cultivators from the Shang-Qian sect remained. Tang Ming roared, Dong Zhuo, you evil thief, even if I die today, I will drag you down with me. Tang Ming's body was actually burning. Tang Ming began to burn his life source. This was to raise his cultivation. The other 4 cultivators from the Shang-Qian sect did the same. Their bodies were enveloped in flames. Their cultivations were also rising steadily. This was the burning blood technique passed down from the Shang-Qian sect. By burning one's life source, one could increase one's battle prowess. This was a sacred art that would only be used when one was desperate. Now, these cultivators from the Shang-Qian sect seemed to know that they were going to die without a doubt. Therefore, they no longer had any scruples. One by one, they began to fight with their lives on the line. Tang Ming's strength was originally not Dong Shuo's match, but after using the burning blood technique, Tang Ming's cultivation increased greatly. He was actually able to temporarily stall Dong Shuo. As for the other 4 experts from the Shang-Qian sect, they were not afraid of death and fought with the experts from the Dong family. These 4 cultivators were also ruthless people. One by one, they self-destructed their bodies. Before they died, they took more than 10 experts from the Dong family with them. Seeing this scene, Dong Shuo's expression became extremely gloomy. He used an even more powerful sacred art to attack Tang Ming. It seemed that Tang Ming could not hold on any longer. You go and collect the dragon crystal rice. I will deal with Dong Zhuo and the others, Lin Feng said. Okay. The Empress nodded. The 2 of them quickly rushed over. At this time, Dong Zhuo slammed his palm towards Tang Ming's head, wanting to kill him. Lin Feng took out the revered sword tomb. 4 treasured swords flew out. They slashed towards Dong Zhuo. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Tang Ming was very powerful. At this moment, if he saved Tang Ming, Dong Zhuo would not be able to use his full strength to deal with him. Therefore, Lin Feng did not hesitate to attack. He could not let Dong Shui kill Tang Ming. Of course, it would be better if the 4 treasured swords could kill Dong Shui. Sir, be careful! The 5 or 6 surviving experts of the Dong family shouted at the same time. Dong Shui was shocked. He turned around and swept out his palm, knocking back Lin Feng's 4 treasured swords. However, Dong Shui had lost his best chance to kill Tang Ming. Tang Ming threw a punch at Dong Shui. The two of them attacked each other. Tang Ming was sent flying by Dong Shui. Dong Shui looked at Lin Feng. His eyes immediately turned blood red. He roared angrily. Little bastard, you don't want to go to heaven, but you want to go to hell. Today, I will kill you. Dong Shui was very terrifying. He stretched out his hand and slammed it down, condensing a huge energy palm in the air. This palm covered hundreds of acres of land. Dong Shui wanted to kill Lin Feng and Tang Ming in one fell swoop. The other experts of the Dong family rushed towards the Empress, wanting to kill her together. Lin Feng sneered. Dong Shui, you old dog, I am not your opponent, but I have many treasures. I can kill you with them. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng took out more than 10 divine weapons. Tang Ming also knew how terrifying Dong Shui's attack was. He gritted his teeth and took out more than 10 extremely precious jade talismans. These jade talismans were Tang Ming's most precious treasures. However, in order to fight against Dong Shui, he had to use them. These jade talismans were densely packed with a large formation that could be detonated. Once it detonated, its power would be released, and it would cause an extremely terrifying lethality. Boom! All the divine weapons and jade talismans exploded. The destructive energy instantly flooded the area, causing the energy palm that Dong Shui had condensed to dissipate. The other experts of the Dong family were also submerged in the energy of the explosion, and they all vomited blood. When the energy wave dissipated, Lin Feng, the Empress, and Tang Ming had all disappeared. Dong Shui was very powerful. The explosion of the divine weapons and jade talismans did not hurt him. However, when he saw Lin Feng, the Empress, and Tang Ming disappear without a trace, Dong Shui roared like a madman. Little bastard, you're ruining my plans again. I'll tear you to shreds. Dong Shui's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. His hatred for Lin Feng couldn't be washed away even if all the water in the world was washed away. After Lin Feng and the Empress obtained the dragon crystal rice, they quickly left. On the way, they saw Tang Ming. Tang Ming seemed to be deliberately waiting for them. Chapter 1701. When he saw Lin Feng and the Empress approaching, Tang Ming cupped his fists and said, "Thank you for saving my life." Lin Feng replied, "Don't mention it, fellow Taoist. Unfortunately, our cultivation levels are limited, so we couldn't save your fellow disciples." In truth, Lin Feng couldn't be bothered to care about the lives of Tang Ming's fellow disciples, but he still had to be polite. Tang Ming revealed a sorrowful expression. "I must kill that bastard Dong Shui and avenge my fellow disciples." Wasn't looking for Dong Shui a suicide mission? Lin Feng muttered to himself. Was this guy trying to drag him and the Empress to seek revenge on Dong Shui? Only an idiot would do such a thing. In any case, Lin Feng wouldn't do such a thing. There was no benefit to it. Of course, he wouldn't do it even if there were benefits. Dong Shui was too strong, and the 3 of them together were no match for him. Seeking revenge on Dong Shui now was no different from seeking death. Lin Feng said tactfully, "That bastard Dong Shui deserved to die, but his cultivation level is too high. Even if you want to seek revenge, you have to wait until you're fully confident. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable." Tang Ming said, "Fellow Taoist, you're right. Don't worry, I won't seek revenge on Dong Shui for now. Besides thanking you, I also want to extend an invitation to you." "Oh? You're inviting me?" Lin Feng was puzzled. Tang Ming said, "I'm sure you've heard about the ancient talisman. To tell you the truth, I've been studying the ancient talisman for thousands of years. Now I'm finally about to comprehend its secrets. Once I've fully comprehended the ancient talisman, I'll invite you to the place of inheritance of the Great Void Emperor. I wonder if you're interested in doing so? Lin Feng was very interested. The Taishu Emperor was also a famous expert in history. Who knew how terrifying his orthodoxy and legacy were? If he could make a trip to the place of inheritance of the Great Void Emperor, he might even be able to obtain some heaven-defying treasures. Thank you for your invitation, fellow Taoist. I wonder how we'll contact each other when the time comes? Lin Feng asked. Tang Ming took out a purple spiritual jade and handed it to Lin Feng. He said, "This is a voice transmission immortal jade. As long as I am in the 9 provinces, even in any remote corner, with this immortal jade, I can pass the message to you through another immortal jade. There's actually such a treasure? Amazing." Lin Feng took the voice transmission jade and clicked his tongue in wonder. After that, the two sides exchanged a lot of information. This included both parties' identities, names, and so on. Originally, Lin Feng only knew that this person was called Tang Ming. He didn't know much about his identity. After Tang Ming introduced himself, Lin Feng was shocked. Tang Ming's identity was not simple. He was actually the son of the previous sect master of the Qian sect. Lin Feng told Tang Ming that he was a rogue cultivator. Lin Feng came from the Sky Martial continent. Currently, the 9 provinces was a foreign world to him. In the 9 provinces, Lin Feng was indeed a rogue cultivator. Therefore, it was not a problem for him to introduce himself like this. From the beginning to the end, Tang Ming did not mention the 14 grains of dragon crystal rice that the Empress had collected. This person clearly knew how to conduct himself. He probably saw that Lin Feng was young and had a strong cultivation base, and knew that Lin Feng's future was limitless. That was why he deliberately came to befriend Lin Feng. This kind of thing was very common in the world of cultivators. He wanted to befriend some young cultivators with potential. Perhaps in the future, the friend he befriended would become a super expert. When the time came, he would also benefit. Even the forces behind him would benefit as well. This kind of thing was very common in the world of cultivators. After the two sides separated, Lin Feng and the Empress left. The Empress smiled and said, "This Tang Ming has good eyesight. He can see the potential in you, so he wants to place a big bet on you. I've heard of this Hai Qian sect before. It's a power that's neither too strong nor too weak. Above it, there are the 9 sects, 10 clans, and the 36 countries suppressing it. As for the lower powers, it's very difficult to pose a threat to a power like the Hai Qian sect. A power like the Hai Qian sect will definitely want to expand. Tang Ming's father is a person who is successful in maintaining his position, but not enough to expand. Therefore, in his generation, the Hai Qian sect has not developed much. Tang Ming seems to have some ambition, and when he inherits the Hai Qian sect's position in the future, if he wants to continue expanding the Hai Qian sect, it will definitely not be possible to rely on the Hai Qian sect's own strength. He will need the help of some friends," Lin Feng said. "If I have the ability, I can help him when the time comes." The two of them did not stay for long and quickly left, finding a place to cultivate in seclusion. Then, there were 14 grains of dragon crystal rice, 7 grains each. Lin Feng began to refine the dragon crystal rice. Waves of powerful energy surged in his body. His magic power. Once again, it was refined by the energy of the dragon crystal rice. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng's body rumbled loudly. The magic power in his body surged violently, growing rapidly. "I've broken through." Lin Feng opened his eyes, revealing a look of joy. After refining 7 grains of dragon crystal rice, he had successfully broken through to level 10 of the empty god realm. Soon the Empress woke up. The Empress had a satisfied look on her face. It seemed that she had gained a lot. "Dragon crystal rice is such a treasure." No wonder the true dragon clan was so powerful back then. They ate dragon crystal rice every day. How could their cultivation not improve quickly? The Empress could not help but sigh. Lin Feng said, "What a pity! The method to cultivate dragon crystal rice has been lost. If we could obtain the method to cultivate dragon crystal rice and cultivate it ourselves, that would be heaven-defying. The Empress shook her head and said, "That's impossible. Actually, even if we had the method to cultivate dragon crystal rice, we wouldn't be able to cultivate dragon crystal rice because the order of heaven and earth has changed greatly. There is no suitable soil for dragon crystal rice to grow. Even the true dragon clan is unable to cultivate dragon crystal rice now. Moreover, it seems that the true dragon clan no longer exists in this world. What a pity! What a pity! Such food! It's going to be extinct." Lin Feng could not help but sigh. The Empress nodded and sighed. In this world, there are many things that humans can't do. The two of them rested for a while before setting off again, heading towards the place that the Empress had mentioned. This place was 100,000 meters underground. Not long after, Lin Feng and the Empress arrived at this place. This place had formed a huge abyss. The abyss was as black as ink. Above the abyss, there were dozens of small golden dragons swimming around. These small golden dragons were very alert. Although Lin Feng and the Empress tried their best to conceal their auras, they were still discovered by the small golden dragons. These small golden dragons quickly dove into the abyss and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1702. "It's down there," the Empress said, pointing at the abyss. Lin Feng frowned and said, "What kind of creature is the stone clan in the abyss?" "It's a stone wolf," the Empress said. "Stone wolf?" Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Lin Feng had seen some stone tribes before, including stone men and stone beasts. However, he had never seen a stone wolf before. Theoretically speaking, the stone tribe could give birth to anything. Anything that existed in the world could be born from them. If Lin Feng saw a group of stone ants one day, he wouldn't find it strange. "Although the stone wolf is sleeping, if we go down there rashly, we'll definitely wake it up. I tried to lure it out before, but it didn't fall for it at all. It didn't show any signs of coming out," the Empress said. The stone tribe was too powerful, so it would be very dangerous if they really fought. Lin Feng grinned. The Empress asked curiously, "What are you smiling about?" Lin Feng said, "Actually, collecting dragon crystal rice isn't too difficult." "Oh? You've already thought of a way?" The Empress looked at Lin Feng in pleasant surprise. "Look, what's this?" Lin Feng waved his right hand, and his celestial clone flew out. During this time, Lin Feng had been letting his celestial clone absorb the power of faith and continuously refine origin crystals. The celestial clone's cultivation had risen very quickly, and it had already reached the 10th stage of the divine flame realm. Of course, ordinary people couldn't afford it. Only Lin Feng could afford it. Whether it was in the exiled world or the Tianwu continent, people were constantly building temples for him to generate power of faith. In addition, Lin Feng had a large amount of wealth on him. That was why the celestial clone's cultivation had risen so quickly. Of course, the reason why the celestial clone had risen so quickly was because it was a puppet clone. A puppet clone only needed to provide enough energy to break through. However, cultivators were different. Apart from needing energy, they also needed to consider many other factors. For example, to break through a major realm, one needed to comprehend the Tao. This was because the Tao contained within each major realm was different. The Tao of Nihility God Realm and Divine Flame Realm cultivators were clearly different. The Tao of Divine Flame Realm cultivators was much stronger. And to break through a small realm, the cultivator still needed to temper his magic power. Increase the purity of magic power. Because cultivators like Lin Feng had accumulated too much energy, they had very high requirements for the grade of their energy. Therefore, origin crystals could no longer completely satisfy his needs. Only a higher grade of heavenly treasure, such as the dragon crystal rice, could increase Lin Feng's cultivation in a short period of time. If he were to refine origin crystals to increase his cultivation, it would take a very long time. The Empress's eyes lit up when she saw Lin Feng's doppelganger. She asked, Are you planning to send your clone to collect the origin crystals? Lin Feng nodded. That's exactly what I was planning to do. But even if we join forces, I'm afraid we won't be a match for the stone wolf. The Empress couldn't help but frown. The stone wolf was very powerful. Once it went berserk, it would be extremely terrifying. At that time, it would indeed be possible to kill Lin Feng and the Empress. Lin Feng said, We can activate the 9 devils painting. If it really doesn't work, we can only burn our life force to increase the 9 devils painting's power. We have a long lifespan now, so for the dragon crystal rice, burning a few 100,000 years of our lifespan is no big deal. Of course, burning one's lifespan was the worst option. This was because burning one's lifespan could very well damage one's life force. Once one's life force was damaged, it would be a very heavy blow to a cultivator. The slightest carelessness could cause one's cultivation to go berserk and regress. The Empress bit her lips and said, Wealth comes from danger. If you want to obtain a treasure, if you don't have the spirit to risk your life, how can you succeed? All right, we'll do as you say. The Empress was a very opinionated woman. She was also a woman who could be ruthless to herself. Lin Feng, the Empress, and the deity's doppelganger flew towards the abyss. This abyss was about 20,000 meters deep. At the bottom of the abyss, there was a gloomy and cold aura. This place seemed to be a passage to the netherworld. Lin Feng saw that there were many small golden dragons flying in the abyss. Altogether, there were more than 50 of them. It was more than what the Empress had said. The Empress said softly, It seems like this is the nest of the dragon crystal rice. After these dragon crystal rice transformed into small golden dragons and ran out, they returned to the nest one after another. This time, there are more than 10 golden dragons than the last time I was here. Lin Feng nodded. Then, he used the seal to seal the exit of the abyss to prevent these small golden dragons from escaping. Oh! A low howl came from the depths of the abyss. Then, a 5-meter-long, 3-meter-tall giant wolf walked out. This giant wolf was a greenish-gray stone wolf. The stone tribe had a very strict division. Different colors of the stone tribe had different talents and future achievements. For example, the sacred battle ape could be said to be the most famous stone tribe in history. This existence had a golden body. The golden-bodied stone tribe was considered to be of a very high level. The greenish-gray stone tribe was considered to be of a middle level. Of course, even the stone tribe with the lowest talent. They were comparable to the top geniuses of the human race. That was why these stone tribe members were so terrifying. Chapter 1703. Bang! It was accompanied by an earth-shattering sound of a violent collision. The 9 demons painting collided with the stone wolf. The stone wolf was unusually strong. After blocking the 9 demons painting's attack, it raised its huge paw and slapped the 9 demons painting again. The stone wolf's huge claws slammed onto the 9 devils' portrait, sending it flying. Even if you have an emperor weapon, you are still as weak as ants in front of me. The stone wolf looked coldly at Lin Feng and the Empress. It walked toward them step by step. With every step it took, its aura increased significantly. How terrifying! When Lin Feng sensed the stone wolf's qi, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. He did not dare to hesitate, and started burning his life force to activate the 9 demons painting. 100,000 years of life force was burned in an instant. The energy formed by burning his life force was poured into the 9 demons painting. Like Lin Feng, the Empress burned 100,000 years of life force to strengthen the 9 demons painting with Lin Feng. With Lin Feng and the Empress's 200,000 years of life force, the 9 demons painting emitted a terrifying emperor aura. The dormant power of the 9 demons painting was awakening bit by bit. A treasure like the 9 demons painting was too high level. Cultivators at Lin Feng's level could not fully unleash the 9 demons painting's power. However, this was not absolute. Burning one's life force or using treasures like the deity elixir could still activate the 9 demons painting and summon its terrifying power. Once a treasure like the 9 demons painting was unleashed, It was an attack that could destroy the world. Just like now. The dormant power of the 9 demons painting was summoned. Although Lin Feng and the Empress had burned 200,000 years of life force, they could only summon a small part of the 9 demons painting's power. However, its power was already strong enough. The 9 demons picture released a power that could destroy the heavens. Then, it rushed toward the stone wolf again. Bang! The 9 demons painting and the stone wolf collided again. This time, the 9 demons painting showed its power and forced the stone wolf to retreat. Go and collect the dragon crystal rice. Lin Feng looked at his celestial state clone. Whoosh! The avatar went around the stone wolf and rushed toward the dragon crystal rice that had turned into golden dragons. The stone wolf roared and turned around, wanting to chase after the deity's avatar and destroy it. Said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. Your opponents are us, said Lin Feng, smiling icily. He and the Empress continued to manipulate the 9 demons painting to attack the stone wolf. Although the stone wolf was powerful, he didn't dare to be careless when facing the 9 demons' portrait's attack. After all, the 9 demons painting was a monarch weapon. The destructive power of such a magical treasure was too great. If he dared to be careless, he might really be killed. The stone wolf and the 9 devil picture collided once again. The 9 devil picture's power had increased tremendously, so the stone wolf was once again sent flying. The stone wolf was thoroughly enraged. He roared, Damn it! You have angered me! Today, you will all die! Following the stone wolf's furious voice, demonic chi surged from the stone wolf's body. As the monstrous demonic chi spread out, the stone wolf's aura instantly became extremely terrifying. It was as if a cultivator had suddenly changed from the nihility god realm to the divine flame realm. Clearly, this was the stone wolf's true combat power. The strength of the stone wolf made Lin Feng and the Empress' hair stand on end. The stone wolf waved its huge claws and slapped at the 9 demons' portrait. Bang! Bang! After 3 consecutive slaps, the 9 demons' portrait couldn't withstand the stone wolf's attack. The 9 demons' portrait dimmed and its power was greatly reduced. Oh no! The stone wolf has gone crazy! Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed. He didn't dare to hesitate, and continued to burn his lifespan to strengthen the 9 demons' portrait. This was something he had to do. The stone wolf was too powerful. At this moment, the 9 demons' portrait couldn't withstand the stone wolf's attack. Therefore, he could only burn his lifespan again. This time, Lin Feng burned 200,000 years of his lifespan to strengthen the 9 demons' portrait. The Empress also knew that the situation was very dangerous, so she didn't hold back. She also burned 200,000 years of her lifespan. Lin Feng and the Empress had burned a total of 400,000 years of lifespan. Under the support of 400,000 years of lifespan, the 9 demons' portrait's power was greatly increased. Lin Feng and the Empress controlled the 9 demons' portrait to attack the stone wolf. Who is sacrificing their lives? Who is awakening the 9 demons' portrait's power? At this moment, a deep voice came from the 9 demons' portrait. The voice was ancient and mysterious. It was as if an eternally existing deity was awakening. The 9 demons' portrait's weapon spirit! Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. Could it be that the 9 demons' portrait's weapon spirit was awakening? If the weapon spirit of an emperor-grade weapon was awakening, that would be terrifying. Even the stone wolf wouldn't be a match for the 9 demons' portrait. However, the voice soon fell silent. The 9 demons' portrait's weapon spirit hadn't awakened. Although it hadn't awakened, the 9 demons' portrait's power was much stronger than before. The 9 demons' portrait and the stone wolf clashed again and again. Although the stone wolf had a slight advantage, it was impossible for it to disperse the 9 demons' portrait's power in a short time. Lin Feng burned 300,000 years of his lifespan. The Empress burned 300,000 years of her lifespan. The two of them together burned 600,000 years of their lifespan to strengthen the 9 demons' portrait. It wasn't strange for the 9 demons' portrait to have such power. At this moment, the celestial realm clone also displayed his power and forced the small golden dragons back to their original forms. Those small golden dragons turned into dragon crystal rice. Then, the celestial realm clone collected them. In the end, more than 50 grains of dragon crystal rice were collected. Just as the celestial realm clone was about to return, suddenly, cracking sounds could be heard. A mountain in the depths of the abyss cracked. "Lowly creatures, how dare you intrude into the stone beast abyss? No one can save your lives." A cold voice suddenly came from the cracked mountain. When that voice appeared, Yizichin was stunned. Even the stone wolf trembled in fear. The stone wolf was such a terrifying creature, yet it was still scared to this extent. Obviously, the owner of the voice was even more terrifying. Lin Feng and the Empress looked at the cracked mountain in horror. They saw a huge green stone tiger that was 10 meters long and 6 to 7 meters tall. It was ferocious. "Oh my God, there's a stone beast! And it's a stone tiger!" After seeing the stone tiger, Lin Feng and the Empress felt their scalps go numb. Facing the stone tiger, Lin Feng didn't even have the courage to resist. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the stone tiger was. "I'm afraid we're dead." Lin Feng and the Empress looked at each other and smiled bitterly. The stone tiger walked step by step, and a terrifying murderous intent enveloped Lin Feng and the Empress. Lin Feng kept thinking of a way to deal with the stone tiger, but he couldn't think of a way. The Empress was the same. Her beautiful face was very pale. The situation in front of them was really hopeless. "I'm going to eat you!" The stone tiger opened its mouth and wanted to swallow Lin Feng and the Empress. At that moment, a burly man descended from the sky. The appearance of that man made the originally domineering Shi Hu's expression change abruptly, and he quickly retreated. "It's him!" When he saw the man, Lin Feng couldn't help but widen his eyes. Chapter 1704. In the past, Lin Feng had seen a mysterious man in the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. He wore ancient clothes, had messy hair, and had a full beard. He looked like a barbarian who lived in seclusion deep in the mountains. At that time, Lin Feng had vaguely heard that the barbarian had appeared once 80,000 years ago. In the blink of an eye, 80,000 years had passed. He had once again appeared in Tianwu continent. After that, Lin Feng met the Taoist priest, the great Taoist priest, and told him about the mysterious cultivator. Wu Liang Taoist had turned pale with fright. Wu Liang Taoist seemed to have some understanding of this cultivator from 80,000 years ago. However, no matter how Lin Feng asked, Wu Liang Taoist did not reveal any more information. Now, this mysterious cultivator had appeared here. While Lin Feng was shocked, he also revealed a look of joy. This person was an abnormally terrifying existence. From the change in Shi Hu's expression after seeing him, it was enough to explain many things. Lin Feng and the Empress felt the pressure on their bodies disappear, and they could move freely. "Who are you? Why did you enter the stone beast abyss?" Shi Hu asked with a gloomy expression. Shi Lang did not speak, but looked at the barbarian as if he was facing a great enemy. The barbarian walked step by step into the abyss. He must have come for some special reason, but he did not say anything in the face of Shi Hu's questioning. It was difficult for others to guess his purpose. Lin Feng and the Empress were also very curious. At this time, they actually had a chance to leave, because Shi Hu and Shi Lang were all focused on the barbarian and did not pay attention to them. Thus, this was the best time to leave. However, Lin Feng and the Empress did not choose to leave, because they were very curious about the situation in front of them. They did not understand why the barbarian had come here. Thus, they wanted to find out. Furthermore, the barbarian clearly did not have any enmity towards the two of them. This was also the main reason why Lin Feng and the Empress dared to continue staying here. If the barbarian had any enmity towards them, Lin Feng and the Empress would have left long ago. "Don't come over. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite," Shi Hu threatened loudly when he saw the barbarian walking into the depths of the forest. How arrogant was Sure Hu! If there was any disagreement, he could just kill them. But now, facing the savages, Sure Hu only dared to threaten them, instead of attacking directly. This was enough to explain a lot of things. The strength of the savages. It was unimaginable. Hence, Sure Hu was extremely fearful and hoped that the barbarians would take the initiative to retreat. However, the barbarians continued to press on without any intention of retreating. Sure Hu had no other choice. His eyes flickered with a ferocious glint as he occasionally let out a manic and uneasy voice. The stone wolf did the same. It let out a low growl and looked at the barbarians with its cold eyes. Stone Tiger and Stone Wolf want Savage to leave. They don't want him to enter the depths of the abyss. Could it be that there is something shocking in the depths of the abyss? Are these Stone Tigers and Stone Wolves actually guarding that astonishing item? Lin Feng said in surprise. The Empress nodded her head. She felt that what Lin Feng said made sense. Roar! Roar! Finally, Sure Hu and Stone Wolf attacked the barbarians. The two beasts roared and leaped toward the barbarians. Their speed was as fast as lightning. Even Lin Feng couldn't see their speed clearly. Especially Sure Hu. His strength far surpassed the Stone Wolf's. The Stone Wolf could more or less see the trajectory of his attack. However, Lin Feng couldn't see the trajectory of Sure Hu's attack. He could only see a flash of green light. He really didn't know how fast Sure Hu's speed was. Facing the incoming Stone Tigers and Stone Wolves, the barbarian's attack was very simple. He raised his right hand and sent out 2 consecutive palms. Bang! Bang! 2 dull sounds of collision were heard. Sure Hu and Stone Wolf were sent flying by the barbarians. The 2 powerful stone beasts couldn't even resist the barbarians. Clang! Clang! A loud sound shook the sky. The ground shook. The 2 stone beasts' huge bodies fell heavily to the ground. They rolled over a dozen times before coming to a stop. Crack, crack. The Stone Wolf's body cracked. It was like a broken piece of porcelain. Such an injury was naturally an incomparably serious injury to the Stone Wolf. Sure Hu's condition was slightly better than the Stone Wolf's, but it wasn't much better. More than a dozen huge cracks appeared on Sure Hu's body. His body began to crack. The Stone Tribe didn't have blood. If they had blood, these 2 stone beasts would have been bleeding a lot. The 2 stone beasts struggled to get up, although they were severely injured. However, the 2 stone beasts were still charging toward the barbarians without fear of death. The barbarians looked indifferent. He raised his right hand and wanted to get rid of the 2 stone beasts. At this moment, a voice came from the deepest part of the distorted world of darkness. You are no match for him. Back down. After the voice came out, Sure Hu and Stone Wolf retreated. The barbarians didn't continue to attack the 2 stone beasts. Instead, he looked into the dark world and said, I came to get that thing. Dong, 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 dong. Footsteps came from the depths. Lin Feng and the Empress held their breaths. It seemed like Sure Hu and Stone Wolf were guarding an extremely terrifying creature. Now that the creature was about to appear, they wondered what kind of existence it was. The barbarians said that he came to get that thing. What did the barbarians mean by that thing? That thing doesn't belong to you, the creature in the darkness said. He finally walked out. When they saw the creature, Lin Feng and the Empress couldn't help but gasp. It was a stone man with 3 heads and 6 arms. But now, the 4 arms of the stone man seemed to have been torn off. Among the 3 heads, only half of the left head was left. The other half seemed to have been chopped off. The right head had been chopped off completely. Only the head in the middle was intact. This creature from the stone race had suffered too much damage. But he survived. This was the creature that Sure Hu and Stone Wolf were guarding. That was left by an old friend for his child, the barbarian said coldly. The savage's voice was ice cold. You dare to be greedy? So what? It wasn't left for you. It has nothing to do with you. Why get involved in this mess? The Stone Tribe creature said coldly. When I met him. I was very weak in the snow and I almost froze to death. He took me in to take back his thing. The barbarian's voice was intermittent. Chapter 1705. That was a period of time that the savage would never forget. During that time, the heavens were in chaos. Countless people lost their homes and became refugees. Demons and monsters ran rampant. Many places were like purgatory on earth. Seeing the people around him die one after another, he, who was only 8 or 9 years old, knew that perhaps one day, a cold corpse in a corner would be his. On that snowy day, he was too cold. He hid in a corner beside the door of a mansion, shivering from the cold. He originally thought that he would definitely die. But he didn't expect that a child around his age would pity him and save him. The child who saved him was a disciple of that large family. He was called Yuan-Chi. It was different from the wealthy life of a large family's disciple that others imagined. Yuan-Chi's life was also very difficult. Because Yuan-Chi's father died rather early, leaving behind an orphan and a widowed mother. Yuan-Chi's mother was also sick. Yuan-Chi had to take care of his mother, and then help the family do some miscellaneous jobs to earn some money. Because he was also a disciple of that family, Yuan-Chi also had the right to cultivate. It was just that he couldn't get cultivation resources. But Yuan-Chi never gave up. Because he knew that the only way to change fate was to have great power. The barbarian in his childhood followed Yuan-Chi's side. Yuan-Chi gave him a name, Yi. Yi was the Yi of the night. At that time, the savage didn't have a surname. An orphan like him couldn't have a surname. And the surname Yuan was very noble. Yuan-Chi didn't have the right to give the surname, Yuan, to Yi. But even without a surname, the child savage was very happy. Because he had a name. Later, Yuan-Chi began to secretly teach Yi how to cultivate. Perhaps it was after following Yuan-Chi. Yi knew what was called hope, responsibility, perseverance, hard work, and never giving up. No matter how hard life was, Yuan-Chi never complained. Until 5 years later, everything changed. Yuan-Chi's mother's condition worsened. Yuan-Chi knelt in front of the main branch's door for 3 days and 3 nights, hoping to beg for a pill to save his mother. But the main branch wouldn't waste a precious pill on someone like Yuan-Chi's mother. Yi ran over, crying, and told Yuan-Chi the news of his mother's death. That year, Yuan-Chi was only 13 years old. When he was 6 years old, his father died tragically outside while completing a family mission. 7 years later, his mother also died of illness. Yuan-Chi wanted to bury his mother's body in the West Mountain. This was the place where the Yuan family members were buried after they passed away. However, Yuan-Chi's mother's corpse was thrown out. This was because Yuan-Chi's mother was only a commoner. He had no background. With such a background, if her husband was still alive, or if the husband is dead and the son is very capable, there was still hope to be buried in the West Mountain. However, Yuan-Chi's father was already dead. Yuan-Chi was only a 13-year-old boy, and he didn't have the ability to bury his mother's body in the West Mountains. Most of the time, a wife's status depended on her father. A mother's status depended on her son. These two sentences were very reasonable. Yuan-Chi's father had passed away, and he was too young. He didn't even have the right to have his mother buried in the Western Mountains. Yuan-Chi begged bitterly, but was mercilessly kicked out of the door. Who knows how many trash from a branch family like you there are in my Yuan family? It's good that you're dead. It can save my Yuan family a portion of food. The saved portion of food can be used to raise a few more spirit beasts. It's much better than raising trash like you. The main branch cultivator's mocking words provoked Yuan-Chi. He carried his mother's body and left. He buried his mother's body in a low, barren mountain. From now on, my surname is no longer Yuan. From now on, I will follow my mother's surname. My surname is Lin. My name is Lin Chi. Sooner or later, I will make those people kneel in front of my mother's grave and repent to her." The youth kowtowed. Under the pouring rain, he left with, "Ye." The savage's thoughts seemed to have returned to that ancient time, a time that he would never forget in his life. Too many things had happened after that. The savage was no longer the Yi of the past. But no matter what kind of powerful figure he became, there were many times. It was a period of lush green leaves. It was something he would never forget. The Stone Tribe member wouldn't hand over the item just because of the savage's words. He said coldly, "Your old friend died because of this item. If you don't want to die because of this item, you'd better leave quickly." The savage's voice was cold. "What do you know? You will never know if he is truly upright in the end of his existence is so strong," the stone creature said coldly. "That person is already dead. I have no interest in the matters of a dead person," the savage said coldly. "Even if you are the Stone Emperor of the Stone race, sees him someday, he will kneel and kowtow to him, and you, what are you, even something? You actually dare to disrespect him?" Boom! The savage took action, slaughtering towards the Stone Clan creatures. What a joke! A person with a rotten name dares to compare himself to the Stone Creature's emperor? Does your old friend have the right to make the Stone Creature kowtow to him? I think he doesn't even have the right to carry the Stone Creature's shoes. The Stone Creature's voice was cold. He raised his fist and attacked the savage. Bang! The two powerful beings collided. The entire abyss began to shake, and the surrounding void began to collapse. Their strength was simply too strong. "Go and kill those two despicable humans," Shirhu said in a low voice. "Roar!" the stone wolf roared. Next, Shirhu and the stone wolf pounced towards Lin Feng and the Empress. "Let's go," Lin Feng said and quickly left with the Empress. Although Shirhu and the stone wolf were powerful, they were still seriously injured. Their speed was greatly affected, so they could not catch up to Lin Feng and the Empress. After successfully escaping from the abyss, Lin Feng and the Empress divided the dragon crystal rice equally. Each of them received 28 dragon crystal rice. The relationship between a man and a woman is as simple as water, forget each other in the pugilistic world, the Empress said softly and left. Lin Feng pursed his lips. Forget each other in the pugilistic world? The relationship between a man and a woman should be deep and intimate. After muttering to himself for a while, Lin Feng did not stay and quickly left the underground world. "Master! It's great that you're fine. I've been worried about your safety." Seeing Lin Feng come out, the four sacred birds hurriedly said. Lin Feng sat cross-legged on the back of the four sacred birds and said, "We can't stay here for long. Leave quickly." The four sacred birds heard the order and spread their wings. They turned into a ray of white light and flew into the distance. Soon, he disappeared into the horizon without a trace.